Podcast. I'm your Shirley G Money. Hope everyone's doing safe. Hope everyone's doing fine, doing well. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday. Hope everyone is surviving the pandemic. Hope everyone's staying safe. Today we're gonna talk about juicy trades, juicy topics going on. Talk about teams who are on fire, teams who are ice cold. We're talking about all-star reserves, who deserve to get in, who deserve not to get in. I'm gonna invite some guests to come in today, and also hope everyone's doing fine. And with that, and we're gonna talk about also potential playoff matches that we all want to see and matches that might happen. So with that, Jedi, please hit the intro. Baby. What's cracking, slacking, everybody? Hope everyone's doing fine. So with that, let's start with Thursday's matchups. On Thursday, the T-Wolves knocked off the Pistons 128-117. Big Cat with 21 points, grabbed in 14 rebounds. Sneak Bay had 21 points, 13 boards, and 8 assists, but wasn't enough for the Pistons. And the T-Wolves won their third straight game, and now they're 27-25. The Miami Heat flambéed the San Antonio Spurs 112-95. Tyler Hero was a superhero, 24 points, 5 boards, and 5 dishes. The Hawks soared against the Suns 124-115 at State Farm Arena. Ice Tray, he melted the Suns with 43 points, 5 dishes, and splash catch 6 from way downtown. And he hit a dagger bomb down the stretch. He was just electrifying. The Hawks have beaten the Suns 8 straight times in hot Atlanta, and Atlanta snapped Phoenix's 11-game winning streak. The Raptors beat the Bulls 127-120 in Jurassic Park. Spicy P had 25 points, 13 boards, 7 dishes. Nick Vucevic had 30 points and 18 rebounds. But who was big time was Chris Boucher with 16 off the bench for the Raps. But the All-Star reserve Fred VanVleet with 21 points, and we'll talk about him in a moment though. And he also had 9 dishes. And the Raps have now won 5 in a row. And Toronto, hey, those baby dinosaurs are coming. They're number 7th in the Eastern Conference, and they're right under the Nets' tail. The Warriors beat the Kings 126-114. Man, Klay Thompson was splashing from way downtown. 23 points, 7 dishes, by the way. And Klay Thompson connected on his first 6 from long range. It was 8 of 11 from the field, 7 of 9 from 3. Kuminga had 18 points off the bench. Damian Lee had 14 off the bench, and Jordan Poole had 12 off the bench. Chef Curry had 20 points and 7 dishes for the smoking hot Warriors, who have been amazing. 8 straight W's, season high wins for them, and now they're 40-13, surpassing last year's win total with 39. So they're 40-13, 2 games back of the Suns. The Clippers beat the Lakers in a juicy, awesome, jaw-dropping thriller, 111-110. Bobby Schmurder, a.k.a. Reggie Jackson, with 25 points, 8 boards, 6 dishes, and had a juicy spin-a-rama layup over Westbrook to give the Clippers the lead. And Anthony Davis rimmed out a floater that rat-tat out and the Clippers survived by the skin of their teeth, 111 to 110. The Clippers show are the Clippers continue to show heart. They're the number 8 seed in the Western Conference, and now they're game and a half up on the Lakers. So the Clippers win their first meeting between the Lakers in state, the second meeting, I should say, against the Lakers, and the first ever meeting in Crypto.com Arena in Hollywood. Last night, the Cavs beat the Hornets in a thriller, 102 to 101. Jared Allen, which we'll talk about him in a moment. Salute Johnny Timon. How's everybody doing? Salute. They beat the Hornets 102 to 101. Jared Allen had a stupendous performance, 29 points, 22 boards. Kevin Love was amazing off the bench for the Cavs. He had 25 points and 9 boards off the Cavs and drilled 6 from downtown, and hit 2 big-time free throws down the stretch to get the Cavs the 102-101 win. And Cleveland is now 32 and 21. The Celtics beat the Pistons 102 to 93, and Boston's won 4 in a row. The Bulls stampede past the Pacers 122-115. Nick Vucevic was amazing, 36 points, 17 boards. Karis LeVert did give the Pacers 42 points, but it wasn't enough for Indiana. The Raptors put the Hawks to extinction 125 to 114. Spicy P was cooking, 33 points, 9 boards, and 4 dishes. The Spurs walloped the Rockets 131 to 106. The Jazz gave the Nets the Salt Lake City Blues 125 to 102. The Nets have now lost 7 in a row, and they're just slumping. Brooklyn's only a half game away from dropping to the play-in tournament. So Brooklyn's now lost 7 in a row, which you can see right here. The Nets are 29-23. It's the first 7-game losing streak since 2020 for Brooklyn. And they're 0-4 in their 5-game road trip. They got Denver at the Mile High City tomorrow. And then they have a tough schedule coming. You got Boston on TNT on Tuesday at home. And then they got to go to DC on trade deadline day, Thursday on TNT. So the Nets got snapped out of their funk quickly, or they may be in the play-in. You have the Pelicans beating the Nuggets 113 to 105. Brandon Ingram gave you 23 points and 12 assists. But you want to hear this? Herb Jones gave you 25 points, had 18 juicy fourth quarter points for the Pelicans, who, by the way, are only half game back of the slumping Blazers, who have now lost 4 in a row. The Mavericks beat the Sixers 107 to 98. Look at the Don recorded his 44th career triple-double all time. Look at the Don is stupendous. The White Stallions beat the Sixers, 107 to 98, being down by 16. Luka gave you 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 15 dishes. But here's who else. Reggie Bullock gave you 20 hits, 6 big-time points in the fourth quarter. Brunson gave you 19. Dwight Powell was awesome with 14, 6 and 6 for the field. Big win for the Mavericks. And Vinny Smith gave you 13, played some great defense. And the Trailblazers had a horrible loss to the Thunder, 96-93. OKC was down by as much as 10 in that game, and he managed to win 96-93. Anthony Simons had a chance to tie the game, but the ball rimmed out, and the Thunder win. And OKC's won 3 in a row, by the way. So when we look at the standings, if we look at the Western Conference standings, New Orleans is only a half game back of Portland. You know what's so crazy? Portland needs to be careful, because speaking of trades, right, with the Blazers, you traded away Norman Powell, Robert Covington for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson. What are the Blazers doing here? What are they doing? If you're the Clippers, won this trade by a mile. Because if you're the Clippers, you got 2 defensive wings on your team that can shoot the 3, and Norman Powell can create his own shot and is athletic. Robert Covington can also shoot the 3 himself. Yes, he's been inconsistent, but he can also shoot the 3 and can defend. The Blazers lost this trade. They got nothing out of this, and I think they're rebuilding for the future for Anthony Simons. If I were Dame Dollar, This is the reason why you should have left Portland. They've You've not had the right help to win a championship. Dame should have realized that his team's not going to win. He needs to go to a team like Milwaukee or Philly or some other place that can help him win a championship. I don't know. So good trade for the Clippers, and they're going to be tough. And another trade rumor we could talk about is the Dusty's beer in the land, James Harden, potentially going to Philadelphia. The Nets are open to trading James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers by Thursday for Ben Simmons. This trade could help both teams. Here's why. If you're Philly, you'll get an MVP candidate who can score, he can penetrate, he can stretch the floor, he can dish the rock, and can hit the mid-range shot and can get to the line to take the pressure off Joel Embiid to get the ball so Embiid doesn't spend so much energy. Doesn't have to spend so much energy. He doesn't have to do a lot of that. For the Nets, if you get Ben Simmons, you get a dude that can defend, that can go full speed ahead, and that can also play make to help out Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So, and then if you can get Seth Curry in there too, that can space the floor too, and maybe an Andre Drummond that can crash the glass and rebound, this trade will be good for both teams. So I think that's my thing with both teams. And another trade rumor is New York potentially getting De'Aaron Fox and Sacramento getting Julius Randle. If that trade were to happen for the Knicks and the Kings, I think it helped both teams. Because for the Knicks, you get De'Aaron Fox who can hit the mid-range shot, who can pass, who's athletic, who can who can create shots for others. If Sacramento gets Julius Randle, you get a dude that can hit the mid-range, occasionally can hit threes, that can play make for other players. So good trade for that. And with that, let's talk about the All-Star reserves and the rising stars. So the All-Star reserves in the Eastern Conference are, you see right here, it's the Dusty's bearded land, James Harden, Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, Fred VanVleet, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, and Darius Garland for the East. For the West, you have Luka Doncic, CP3, D-Book, Spider Mitchell, Spider-Man, Draymond Green, Big Cat, and Rudy Gobert. Ooh la la. Here's what I think about the reserves. James Harden is a great player, and he's had a great career. He should not be an All-Star this year. I'm sorry, James Harden's not had that good of a season. He's shooting his worst percentage since his sophomore year, and also his three-point percentage is one of his worst in his career. Harden is shooting 41% from the field and 33% from three. He should not be an All-Star this season. In my opinion, it should be LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball should be the All-Star, in my opinion. Because LaMelo's giving you double-doubles per night, can get the Hornets into transition, can improve his jump shot, can attack the basket, and he's very exciting to watch. James Harden's a great player. He's an MVP candidate. He's a superstar. But James Harden, to me, it should not be an All-Star this year. And then also you have Chris Middleton. I like Chris Middleton, but if you actually watch the Bucks this season, he's been really, really inconsistent, though. Yes, I know Chris Middleton has good shooting splits. However, if you actually have watched Chris Middleton, he's shooting 44% from the field, 38% from downtown. Salute, Chef Dan. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Salute to you. How you doing, G Money? I'm great right now.
Great, great. How's everything for you, bro? Salute, Spree.
Good.
What's cracking, slacking?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Great, 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 great. So, what you guys think about? So, how's you guys been doing so far? You guys doing all right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're doing good. What was the last topic you were on just now?
We were talking about the All-Star reserves, the East, the West. What do you think about the All-Star reserves? Personally, for me, I think James Harden and Chris Middleton should not be in it.
It's still kind of certain things are still shaking out here and there because we know that certain players are not playing right now, so other players will be substituted in naturally. That's the way it's going now for All-Star, for the All-Star selections. You can kind of see it where like if someone doesn't make it, 9 times out of 10, someone's bound to sit out the All-Star game in hopes that
Probably.
their team can make a better push with them being healthier. So we're
Mhm.
gonna see someone else be selected.
Probably.
It's really fluid, and
Mhm.
nowadays with the way scoring is really really at an all-time high with some of these players,
Mhm.
everyone makes their own case for being an all-star. So like it goes back to me just it being really fluid, and I expect someone else to be named an all-star by this week.
Right, right, right. What do you think, Spree, about the All Star reserves?
To be honest with you, I haven't really looked at it. All I know is no Knicks were on the All Star team, so all I know is with the All Stars, it got every year. There's always a few guys that are going to get in. That there's debates that, and a few guys are left out. That just happens every year. And
Mhm.
so, if you don't
Right.
get in and you're deserving, your team knows that, and
Hmm.
uh, you make it. You get motivated. But for us, we didn't have any, so I didn't really focus on it.
Right, 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 right. And speaking of motivated teams, which teams have been your surprise teams to that point?
Uh, I mean, I would just say off the top of my head, Cleveland. Cleveland I knew had young talent, but I didn't expect them right away to be this good early. And I think Bickerstaff deserves Coach of the Year for what they've done.
Hmm.
Ah, man. I give Cleveland that's my surprise team in the East. That's who I believe is they've been really surprising to me. I wouldn't give Bickerstaff the coach of the year, because that's something that I feel like that's deserving to either one of those the West Coast guys in either Monty Williams or Quinn Snyder. I think Quinn Snyder
Or
has
Steve
been,
Kerr?
yeah, Steve Kerr. But then again, I believe that Quinn Snyder has been robbed of a couple of Coach of the Year
It's true.
awards, and for what he's done with the amount of talent they have in Utah, they're not really ringing bells or anything like that.
Hmm.
But when they look at the analytics and the plays drawn up, Utah runs one of the most efficient offenses out there,
Hmm.
and those guys play
Right.
really well, a really really good defense as well. My surprising team on the Western Conference, it would have to be the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies
Right.
and
I
what
agree.
they're doing and how they're red, they're hot, they're red hot. The things
Hmm.
that they're doing sometimes is surprising to me. The winning streak they had when John Morant
11
was
games.
out due to an injury, that was very surprising to me. When he came back, how the fans kind of turned on him, and then he
Hmm.
used that as motivation. So now they
Hmm.
go on a winning streak while he's with the team, and that's surprising as well. Like it seems like the way this team works, whether John Moran is there or not, they find some way to function. They're together, and they play gritty defense, especially for them losing their best defender in Dylan Brooks. It's been really surprising how they've been staying not it's not staying afloat. They've been surpassing a lot of the projections that they've had coming out this year. And so they've been
Right.
a really surprising team to me in the Western Conference.
Right. Right. And don't forget, Dylan Brooks only played 21 games this year. Don't forget, and the Grizz were 9-10 to start the season. The Grizz were 9-10, and you see they've been playing better. And you see guys like Desmond Bain stretching the floor. You have Zaire Williams who can stretch the floor, go to the basket. You have Steven Nash who can protect the rim here and there, can crash the glass and get some offensive rebounds. You have Jaren Jackson, who's had a very good season stretching the floor, can get to the rack. John Moran's had an MVP type season. So Memphis has been a big surprise. My surprise team, don't sleep on this team, the Chicago Bulls. I didn't expect the Bulls to be this good. Number one seed in the Eastern Conference. I know they're very talented with DeRozan, Levine, Caruso. Um, I understand that. DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic, Caruso. I understand that. But remember, Chicago's not been healthy either. Caruso missed some games. Vucevic missed some games. Lonzo's missed some games. Everyone's missed some games. And the Bulls are still playing well. 33-19. They're playing very well. They are very quick. They're very quick. They're a good defensive team. And don't forget, Derrick Jones has been banged up too. So the Bulls have been a surprise for me in the East. In the West, I think it's the Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors have been my surprise. I understand you have great talent with Steph Curry, you have good talent Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins. I understand that, but don't forget the Warriors last year only won 39 games and missed and lost in the play-in. Remember, Klay Thompson was hobbled. We didn't know how Klay Thompson was going to look. He's looked pretty good so far. Also, Draymond Green has missed almost 20 straight games because of the disc in his back, though. And the fact that the Warriors are now on the 8-game winning streak, it's pretty impressive. And they won more games this year compared to last year. The top five in defense. Their offense has slid off a little bit, but the top five in defense. They share the ball very good. They do a good job cutting. And here's what's crazy: Steph Curry's not even had an amazing season. They're still winning games like this. Jordan Poole's had a great year. Andrew Wiggins has improved. Klay Thompson, he's looked up and down here and there, but he's had his moments. This team is going to be a tough out in the playoffs if they can get healthy, man. If they can get healthy, they're going to be a tough out, man. And they're doing this without Draymond Green, too. They're not even, and also if they get James Wiseman back, they're going to be a tough out, man. So my surprise team in the West is the Golden State Warriors. Who's been your disappointing team so far?
I mean,
Biggest disappointment in the
How about disappointment in the East, disappointment in the West? Salute, Kev.
yeah, biggest disappointment to me in the Western Conference. I have to start off would have to be. I'd have to say the LA Lakers. For
Yeah.
me personally, in what they're doing right now, even the way they've assembled their team, watching them really from the beginning, I wouldn't say they're a disappointment in the sense of I expected more from them. It's just that the way they built their team and the pieces that they have gathered around LeBron and Anthony Davis, it feels that they maybe I don't know they
It doesn't click.
no, that's not it. What it feels like is they weighed the results of last year's season a little too much. And I
Yeah.
felt that that's what a lot of teams did coming out of last year's season. Last year's season, we're seeing is a complete anomaly. And based on some of the miscues and mismanagements that have been done all throughout the league, we're now seeing that it's given other teams an opportunity to capitalize. And that's why you can have an Eastern Conference before where you had some teams kind of vying for some teams had their supremacy, other teams past the top four, they weren't above 500 or they were near 500, things of that nature. Now you have it in the Eastern Conference because certain teams were able to take advantage of what other teams were doing and how they their misevaluations of last season. You now have a lot more parity in the league. So for me,
Right.
I think the biggest disappointment to me is the LA Lakers. They had really a chance throughout the offseason to kind of capitalize a lot
Mhm.
more, and they really didn't.
Right.
The biggest disappointment to me in the Eastern Conference, I it's a bit of a tie.
Sure.
It's a bit of a tie to me between the Brooklyn Nets
Mm-hmm. They lost 7 in a row, by the way.
and
Mm-hmm.
and the 76ers. It has to be between the Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers for me. Both of these teams, I know they're contending right now, but they're if there's any team that I felt like should have had their business straight, set, been way more competitive from the jump, and not have a lot of these teams come in there and set certain tones on them, it is the Brooklyn Nets and the
I agree.
76ers. A lot of teams have been
Yeah.
beating them that we felt
Mhm.
that if you look at the what pundits judge these teams on, like some of these teams shouldn't have a chance with beating them, and these are losses that were happening while with the Nets they have Kevin Durant on the floor.
Mhm.
I'm not excusing, I don't want to excuse them not having Kevin Durant and they're losing 7 in a row, things of that nature. But between the the discord that Kyrie Irving is committing with the vaccine, whether he sees it or not as a dysfunction, it is a dysfunction not having one of your best teammates night in night out because of a choice that he is making. He is selectively choosing not to be there night in night out. So there's that. You have the rumors with James Harden, things of that nature,
Mhm.
and so that's a disappointment with the The 76ers, I mean, I with the rumors that James Harden could possibly be a trade piece for Ben Simmons, they are, it's not too late that they're capitalizing on the
Mhm.
season that Joel Embiid is having. But for the season he is having, I think that that team should have been at least top three. They should have been
Good point.
top three team at this point. The
Good
way
point.
the way Joel Embiid is like, he
There's
is just
there's no way Cleveland should be top three and not Philly. No way.
and I know, man, I guess it just serves to prove a point in the difference your team can make between having a point guard and not having a point guard. We're seeing the
Good point.
difference right there. The Cavaliers having Darius Garland, so the other
Mhm.
pieces can look good, versus the 76ers having Joel Embiid, who, he can make himself and maybe one or two other players look good. But then after that, based on the attention he's drawing, those other guys have to find a way to get it for themselves. So
Right.
yeah, it's between those two teams, it's more so disappointing. I'd have to say maybe the Nets, because watching the
Right.
response that the Phoenix Suns are having after the loss that they've had in the finals, how they're kind of coming into the season running red hot. They don't want anyone to think that their run is a fluke. Versus the Nets, it kind of looks like their foot isn't really on the gas pedal right now,
They're
and
not
so
playing
that's why
inspired.
I,
You should say.
yeah, that's why I should yeah, but that's why it's more
Mhm.
so the Nets to me, and that's the biggest disappointment in the Eastern Conference.
Right. 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 What do you think, Kat? What do you think? I'll let Spree go next. Spree, who has been your disappointing team in the East and disappointing team in the West to this point for you?
For me, it's the Knicks. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought this team would be better. Yeah, you could say the Nets because they lost 7 in a row, and everyone expected them to be at the top again, regardless of whether or not Kyrie played or not. But for me, it's the Knicks. We're not. We got to pick it up. And then
Hmm.
for the West, I'm with the Lakers. Yeah, they've had injuries, but regardless, there's been dysfunction with that roster. Guys not on the same page, and most people had the Lakers to be at the top of the conference, and
Right.
for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out so far.
And they had an easy schedule. Don't forget, the Lakers had an easy schedule to start the year, and they didn't take advantage of it. They lost to the Thunder twice. They blew a
Right.
26-point lead one game. They blew a 19-point lead another game.
Hmm.
They lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Spurs. I remember they got destroyed by them in their last home game of Staples Center before they moved to before they changed to the Crypto.com Arena. That was embarrassing for them. They lost to the
Hmm.
Pacers, by the way, at home, which is embarrassing. They barely beat the Rockets because Kevin Porter rimmed out a three. They had some bad losses all year. So with you, Jedi, who has been your disappointing? Who has been? Let's start with surprise and disappointing since you've been here. Who has been your surprise team in the East? Surprise team in the West for you?
Yeah, the surprise team. First of all, salute to Spree. Thank you for coming on the G Money program. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Spray.
Always,
Thank you,
always a
Always,
good
Jedi.
time. Always a good
always
time
happy.
to share
Hey, come on
a
anytime.
platform with you as well, Chef Dan and G Money. The
Mhm.
first of all, I also before we even go forward, I want to thank everyone listening and watching. We appreciate you guys for allowing us to get to the 3,000 subscriber mark. I
Thank
want to
you,
thank
everybody.
everyone.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate everyone
Thank you. Thank you.
for supporting the program, not just my
Mhm.
program, the G Money program, the Austin and MMA with Chef Dan program that they break down MMA fighting. So I appreciate that. With that said, my most shocking team, yeah, no one thought that Cleveland Cavaliers were going to be 11 games over 500. No one at all. That's a surprise. Um,
Mhm.
Also, the disappointing, I'm going to agree with Spreewell. Both Lakers and the New York Knicks are totally a disappointment for both teams. I didn't think this team was going to be 4 games under 500 here,
Mhm.
um, February 5th, and we are 4 games under 500. And ironically, we're playing the Lakers, who are 3 games under 500.
Yeah.
Both teams are underachieved tonight, and no one thought that with that roster.
Nope.
With both of their rosters, their moves, the acquisition. The way that Knicks played last year, we thought they were going to take a step forward. Everything, and for them where they're at now, and there's so different much turmoil. Our last year's MVP, most improved player, MVP of the team,
Mhm.
unfollows the organization on social media,
Right.
which is a lot of noise
Disrespectful.
anyway. Yeah, not disrespectful, just noise. The thumbs down situation, the way everything has gone there. Kemba Walker, not meshing at all. I don't think
Yeah,
personally, I don't think he's done as a basketball player. I think he could fit, but not to the particular way that this team is rolling. I find the Knicks a disappointment. I wanted to
right.
bring. I'm gonna ask this question. I want to ask Bree on this question and Chef Dan on you guys about Kemba Walker,
Go
or the
ahead.
Knicks, in general. We had point guard Alfred Payton, didn't seem to work out with the Knicks. Kemba Walker didn't seem to work out with the Knicks. Austin Rivers, who handles the ball, was brought here as a point guard for other different reasons, didn't work out with the Knicks. There's a common denominator. Do you know what? It could be two common denominators in this situation. Is Thibodeau or Randall? Do you think kind of the system or the way they play to stump the point guard wanting to do their thing? Because man, this is 3 point guard. No matter, even though we could say Peyton stink, look what he's doing. He's not doing well in Phoenix or Austin
Mhm.
Rivers. Austin Rivers had a good run in last year with the Nuggets. That's why they kept him around, and you could see now with Kemba Walker. We could say his knee issues or his health or whatever the case. But man, that's 3 point guards in a row, no matter what. Does that concern you though?
I think we got to get a point. I mean, I hear you. I mean, it's not great. I thought Kemba would be better, a little bit better than what we're showing here, but I just don't think we've ever had a guy like Alfred Payton could guard, but he can't really shoot and do things. Kemba
Yeah,
Kemba can do this, he can't do that. We need a guy that can just be more consistent, where you know what you're getting on both ends of the floor. Like I'm not blaming Tibbs for Kemba's play. Maybe I'm blaming Tibbs. Maybe could he run a little more pick and rolls for Kemba to get to the basket? Maybe that's a fair argument. Maybe we haven't seen enough of that. But I think the issue is really we have not had a consistent all around point guard.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, adding to the point that Spree said, that was perfect. I was gonna go into that. Is
Mhm.
that number one, the 3 point guards you're talking about? All three of those are three different type of guards right there. Alfred Payton, I don't know if we can say he didn't work, because the fact is, in a successful season that we had with Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau, he was the de facto starting point guard. He played
Mhm.
majority of the minutes, and no matter how much the fans cried for him to not be on the court, Tibbs found a way to have him on the court every night, and
Right.
regardless, he found some way to contribute to that winning. So I don't know if he didn't work per se. It's just the skill set he was providing didn't add any more to what we needed.
Right.
Kemba Walker, we're seeing he's a different type of point guard altogether from uh, uh, Austin Rivers and Alfred Payton. He's not more he's less defensive than those two guys, but he can still
True.
draw a charge here and there. But then we see it. Alfred Payton, he had a penchant for finding a way of penetrating and getting to the rim. He wouldn't convert a lot of those attempts, but he found a way to get to the rim. Versus Kemba Walker right now, we're seeing it. He's not getting to the rim like that. We all knew that the Kemba Walker that was really great, was a mid-range assassin. But now you kind of have it to where in order for the mid-range to work, you have to build a rhythm. He has to now share a rhythm with Julius Randle, who they're both
Mhm.
shooting mid ranges. It really doesn't work when you have two primary options shooting mid ranges. So that's why that doesn't work. And then you have a guy in Austin Rivers who I don't believe he ever was in the starting lineup unless there was an
No, I
emergency
don't
or
think
things of
so.
that
I
nature.
doubt it now.
But yeah, the reason why I all know he didn't work was like me personally, he lit up the Jazz whenever we played him.
Too
Other
much.
than that, at any other game, he was a pedestrian in. And the one thing that we kept consistently complaining about was that he couldn't get Obi involved, and Obi was making these clear rim runs that everyone on TV is like, he's open, just throw it up there. They're not even paying attention. And he didn't
Mhm.
make that read. So that's why I don't even know, can you really call him a point guard at that point? So at
Right.
that, looking at it, we see the type of point guard that we need. And none
Mhm.
of those three guys, they fill that role. We need a
Right.
point guard that can consistently get to the rim,
Mhm.
provide great defense, and they don't have to fall in love with the mid-range shot. Be a 3-point threat.
Yeah. Space the floor a little
That's
bit.
it.
Mix it up. Mix it up. Well, before we continue this, my disappointing teams. If I don't speak my disappointing teams, my surprise teams for me are the Bulls. There's also the Cavs for me, and also the Warriors. The Warriors have been my surprise. I did not have them 40 and 13. My disappointing teams for me is the Nets by far, the Lakers, but another surprise team we're not talking about, two of them, the T Wolves and the Raptors. They've been surprise teams though. The Raptors have won 5 in a row. They have a shot making the playoffs. Salute Calvin, and the T Wolves. They won 3 in a row. They have a shot making the playoffs. So my disappointing teams, the Lakers, the Nets, and the Knicks for me. So that let's go with the next topic. What trades in general? It doesn't have to be about the Knicks. It can be about anything. What trades do you want to see, just in general, or you think is going to happen?
Well, we could talk about that there. Well, let's see. What is the dream scenario trade that we think? We Before we get into the trade, let's leave the trade for the very last thing. G Money, real quick on
Okay.
this. We saw that All Star reserves. We mentioned that. What about the rising challenge stars?
Rising stars.
The rosters are out there. We see the
Okay.
names out there,
Mhm.
and again, there is no representation of the New York Knicks other than the slam dunk contest. And I know this
Right.
is a G Money NBA report. We're going to speak about the whole
No,
NBA
that's fine.
in title, but right now we have three panelists that are full Knicks blown content followers. My question: are you okay with the Rising Star Challenge not featuring anyone on the New York Knicks roster? Spreewell?
Um, I mean, I would have liked to have seen one of our guys get in, but I don't feel like, honestly, the minutes has really showcased some of the guys in the first half of the year, kind of like some of these other guys that made it that are playing more minutes consistently. And look, I think the trade deadline, I think more, I know we're going to talk about the trade deadline, but the hope is that some of these guys who we think can be rising stars or we think are, they're getting showcased a little more in the second half of the year once the trade deadline comes and rotations kind of get figured out. But look, we know Quickly has game. We know Obi has game. He's shown flashes, and hopefully the goal is that for them to be in that type of game. But the minutes haven't been there for Obi. Let's be honest.
True.
Quickly has shown growth as kind of a better at times as a facilitator. He's not all the way there yet, but
Right.
inconsistent still a little bit with shooting, but at times he can completely get you back in a game just because of his
Mhm.
skill set. So I'm hoping both of these guys are on our team for a long time, because I do think they can help us. But yeah, it's upsetting that they're not in it.
Okay, Chef Dan.
No, it's not upsetting at all to me. They haven't played enough minutes in the league. That's due to, the rotation we have. The moment we can clear up some guys in the rotation, they can get more minutes, then they can show the skill set, and maybe those guys would be, in the Rising Stars Challenge. So that's not really the more so exciting topic to me. Like, I know Knicks fans, we want our young guys in those. We want to showcase our young guys as much as we can, but we also have to remember that as much as we would want these guys in there, they have a market that's going to support them already. And not only that,
Mhm.
but this event is also not, it's not just for showing off these young guys. It's also for helping other markets gain marketability, gain fans, things of that nature. So when you have certain guys in small certain these some of these younger guys from smaller markets that you feel that maybe they have less playing time than some of our guys like Quentin Grimes and things of that nature, but they still are on the they're still in this. It's also a bit political at this point. So the more interesting conversation to me is the matchups that they've set with this Rising Stars lineup. They're going to have Team Isaiah versus Team Worthy and
Mhm.
Team Barry versus Team Peyton. That's interesting to me. If you guys want to attack that as far as the guesses and who you think is going to end up, in the finals, looking at these lineups, what do you think?
Hmm. If I had to guess, if
Well, just let's break it down first. Team Isaiah versus Team Worthy. Who do you
whoa,
guys have coming out of that line? Coming out of that matchup?
team, go ahead.
No, I say I like Coach Isaiah Thomas, man. You got Halliburton, Bain, Sadiq
Mm-hmm.
Bey, Anthony Edwards, Isaiah Stewart.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That's firepower.
Yeah, same here. Team Isaiah. Too much
Team Isaiah.
firepower, athleticism, shooting, and Desmond Bain can shoot too. And Achura is athletic too. So too much
I agree.
athleticism, shooting. Yeah,
I understand that, but then you guys are forgetting they like man. Coach Worthy's team has a true point guard in Josh Giddey. This guy is
true.
he's putting up weird stat points like 0 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's the type of guy he is. Then they have Cole Anthony. They can leave a lot of the scoring to him. Tyrese
Mhm.
Maxey is on Team Worthy's team as well. They have
Mhm.
Jalen Suggs. He's going to be a constant off-ball cutter along with Jalen Green. Those two
Mhm.
playing on a team together is going to be very interesting. Along with Herbert Jones, I don't know, man. Team Worthy looks really, really good. I know Cole Anthony is going to be a dynamo up and down that court. If anything, I think
Oh yeah.
him and Anthony Edwards, they're going to match up very well. They may cancel each other out. From there, I think Josh Giddey will have a better chance of setting up these two teams. So, setting up his teammates rather than Isaiah having his team be set up by who's the point guard on Isaiah's team again? That is
Halliburton.
Tyrese
Halliburton.
Halliburton.
For me personally, I gotta go with Team Worthy.
I can see that. I think it'll be competitive. I can see it be competitive because they have more true point guards than Team Isaiah. But I just think Team Isaiah has more athleticism. I just think it has more quickness, and I just think they're gonna tie out Team Worthy down the stretch. I think they're gonna tire them out. It's gonna be close though. Okay, what about Team Barry versus Team Payton? Who you guys got?
Man, I'm looking at those rosters. I can
I'm
see
not
that's
a-
gonna.
oh.
Oh
I'll
man.
go Team Peyton.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, I mean, no. You know what? You know what's funny? I'm gonna go with Team Barry.
Whoa.
Here's the reason why. And if there's one thing I know is that LaMelo Ball, he could show out. He could definitely show out and make everyone, really like, oh my gosh, like this guy. But then again, LaMelo Ball is also known to be a guy to be too fancy for his own good. Versus
True.
Cade Cunningham, he's a practical basketball player. He's really good. Jay Sean Tate, he's not very like none of the guys on Team Barry. Team Barry is very like athletically special, but they're fundamentally sound. And it seems like these guys are just gonna click instantaneously and just try and get the result. They're gonna go for the win. So for me, I gotta go with Team Barry.
Have you guys seen how good Tasuma's been of late the past few weeks?
Yeah.
Dosunmu?
For the Bulls, yeah, he's played well.
He's been incredible. I mean, Duarte, Mitchell,
He's been
that's a nice
amazing.
team.
Mhm.
That's a nice. I hear you though. I mean, that should be a competitive game. Cunningham, Mobley, it's gonna be interesting.
And-
Be a good game.
Go ahead.
I kind of take Rick Barry's team. The reason why, and I've been a proponent of it. If you listen to me with what I'm screaming for the New York Knicks team, and I hate to always bring it back to the Knicks, but
No,
it's
that's
about height and size. You can't teach that. Evan Mobley, Aspen Senegal, Franz Wagner. Not only they're bigs, they stretch the floor. They can hit the shots from anywhere. And then you have that two-man game with Mobley and a Coro. Man, and I'm a big proponent of Dyson Daniels. I think he's lanky. A pest there, and Deshaun Tate. I kind of like Barry's team more, just by a slight more. I'm not saying by a lot more, but just a slight because of that height risk and that stretch ability, man.
Right. And speaking of Okoro and Mobley and Barnes, I know it's early. Could it be crazy if they see each other again come April after the regular season's over? Come playoff time?
I don't want to skip ahead to that. I don't want to skip
I know.
ahead
I'm
to
just
that.
saying potential. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Potential.
It could be. You never really know. But the way the rest of the season is kind of rolling out right now, one game kind of decides the fate between everyone everywhere in this league right now. One game
Right.
could throw off anyone's plans. So I just want to,
Right.
stick to this. This weekend coming up is going to be very exciting.
Very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. And there's a lot of good games coming up tonight. You have the Heat and the Hornets. You know, Charlotte is on a 3-game slide. They had a tough loss to the Cavs. You have the Magic and the Grizz. The Grizz gonna beat the Magic. Then you got the Suns and the Wizards. The Suns had a tough loss in hot Atlanta when Ice Tray melted them for 43 points. You have the Wizards had a good win in Philadelphia. You have the Knicks and the Lakers, two teams who have been inconsistent. Salute Russ, what's cracking slacking, who have been inconsistent to say the least. You got the Bucks and the Blazers. The Blazers on a 4-game losing streak. They're only a half game, barely hanging on over the Pelicans. And you have the Bucks who have been inconsistent themselves. If you actually notice, Milwaukee's been inconsistent themselves. And then you got the Thunder and the Kings of Sacramento, like usual, just a dumpster fire. And OKC, they're not a good team, but they play hard. So the game that might be interesting tonight, to me, there's 2 games that I'm looking forward to: Miami and Charlotte, New York and Los Angeles. What about you guys? What games are you looking forward to?
First of all, the New York Knicks take on the Los Angeles Lakers here on the BX Sports Jedi Network, where we turn to the Knicks watch along and play by play. Chef Dan and the BX Sports Jedi will be doing the call play by play. So please join us. Return this evening. We'll have the watch along, the chat, the mod police in full effect, and of course we'll be covering there. So that's the number 1 game, in my opinion, just to be biased, though. Just want to
I know. Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have Sergeant Kelvin. He's been the mod,
No,
part
he's
of
the
it.
mayor. He's the
He's
mayor
the
now.
mayor. Yeah, I mean, but look, the man is. If you haven't heard, his background is detailed. He used
Oh,
to
yes.
box in the army, 85
Yes.
and 1. The man is.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, he's got them hands. So
Olympics bound.
Olympic bound. But
That's
hey,
impressive.
that's very impressive.
Yeah.
That's why
Can't wait for that interview with him, though.
I'll give him all his titles. Every title he wants, he's gonna get it from me.
Right.
Spree,
Yeah.
talk to us, man.
Lakers Knicks, man. I mean, this is the game. Do we turn it around? Is this the start? This is the start of a tough road trip. It's either we're going down with the ship, or we're finding life support and we're able to hang in there.
True.
I think we got to win this game. Look, no LeBron. Yes, they're tough. Yes, AD
Melo.
played well,
No one either.
but we got to find a way to win this game. With all the circulating around this team, I think we're going to win tonight. I think it's going to
be a close game.
It's going to be a close, tight game, and I think we pull it out.
Me too.
I'm thinking the Knicks are gonna go, and I hate to do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The Knicks are gonna go 3-2 on this 5-game road trip.
Okay,
I'll take that.
let's see. The road trip is Los Angeles, Utah, Denver, Golden State, Portland. Okay.
If you told me right now we would go 3-2, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Here, sign up.
take
I got the pen. I'll sign on the dotted line.
Are you guaranteeing it, like Chuck?
You know what? I've been wrong before. I'll guarantee 3-2. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna put my mouth on my money.
You better hope Spider Mitchell, Joker, AD, CJ McCollum don't hear you, man, and Steph Curry. If I had to guess, man, I think we'll win tonight. I feel confident tonight. The Lakers have been inconsistent. They came off a tough loss to the Clippers. I think it'll be a close game. Because remember, the Lakers are desperate too, trying to get out of the play-in because they're trying to catch Denver. So it's going to be a close game. Then we got the Utah Jazz. I know Utah's been inconsistent all year due to inconsistent three-point shooting, and I understand that. And I understand. And again, who knows? Maybe we beat the Jazz, but I gotta be realistic. It will be close. I don't see us getting blown out. It will be close in that game. I have a feeling we lose to the Jazz. I just have a feeling that if the game stays close, Donovan Mitchell might have one of those games. And I'm not ruling out the fact that Rudy Gobert might come back for that game. Because remember, he's been out for a while. Then you got the Denver Nuggets. We haven't won a game there since 2006. The last time we won a game there, Jamal Crawford hit a crazy game-winning shot. Game-winning three. It's chilly at the Mile High. It's chilly at the Mile High, man. A lot of altitude. Woo! And it's going to be close. I think we lose that game, The Warriors game gets tricky with me. It gets tricky. It depends what the Warriors do. If they play their starters, I think we lose. If they don't, who knows? I'm 50-50 in that game. I think we'll beat the Blazers. I think we're gonna beat Portland. I think we can beat the Blazers though. Portland's been bad, they're not a good team. I think we can beat the Blazers. I think we beat the Lakers on the road trip. I got us losing to the Jazz, got us losing to the Nuggets. The Warriors, if I have to guess, and I'm going to be realistic with myself, I think the Warriors play their starters because they want to catch the Suns for number one. And like you said, and you told me this before, Kev, we're 2-0 all time in the Chase Center. The Warriors have those games behind their mind. They're on a roll right now, so I don't think we win that. And I think we beat the Blazers. What do you guys think?
So you got them going 2-3?
2-3, yeah, 2-3.
All right, 2-3 for G Money. Spree, what's your thoughts? We'll throw it to Chef Dan after that.
I think we go 2-3.
2-3, 2-3. Dan,
I thought you were talking when you said we G Money. I thought you were talking about the
Knicks.
Nah, I thought you were talking about the Phoenix Suns.
I didn't watch the Suns too. The Knicks.
Confuse me. Anyways, Kev, if you say 3-2, man, you know what? You were calling wrong about the UFC heavyweight fight. That means you lost your touch this year. He's wrong. We're going 2-3 this year. We're going 2-3. We're going 2-3.
Schedule's too bad.
all right.
Too bad.
I'm gonna go. I said 3-2. I'm gonna say 3-2, but I think 4-1 is on the table. Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
If I'll make this comment,
you know what? Say 4-1 so I can say 3-2.
If we go 4-1 on this road trip, I will be back here next Saturday popping a bottle of champagne.
All right.
I'll say this, Dan. I'll say this, Jedi. If
It all
we
depends.
go 4-1 or 3-2, I'll come here and say I was wrong. You were right. But I say 2-3, and hopefully not. Potential. I'm not saying salute G man.
Yeah, nice hat, man. Love that hat.
What's going on?
It was good. How y'all doing?
Salute.
Great, man. Welcome to the G Hoop Show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, thanks for having me.
Always a
Thank
I'm
you.
up here
Thank
against,
you.
You know, for radio panelists, you know what I'm saying?
All-star panelist.
All-star panelists, for sure. But thanks for having me, G-Man.
Right. We're just talking about trades, teams on fire, teams who are struggling, teams who all-stars and all that. How's everything with you, man? How's the family doing?
Oh, the family is great, brother.
That's
Look,
great.
I am living my best life right now. I'm in Tampa, Florida. I have a man cave that's impenetrable by family members. You got to have a secret code to get in my man cave, bro.
Right.
You know, I'm up here doing I'm living my best life. I'm able to hang out with my brethren and talk Knicks and whatever else comes up. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, my brother. I appreciate you for asking.
That's great. That's great.
G-Man, you got to tell me where to find a code like that when I get my new house. I need one of those.
So Spree, what you got to do is you got to start laying the foundation right now.
Okay.
You can't just pop up and say this is what I'm going to do. You got to make that a period. So when you find the house that you want, make sure that the missus is as excited about this house as you are. And then what you do is you say, okay, we can get the house, but in order for us to get the house, this is the stipulation right here that's got to go into this.
Exactly.
So
Got to negotiate.
I'm gonna pay $500. I'm gonna pay $500,000 for this house. But in order for us to get this house, this is what we have to have in this house.
That's
That's
what seals the deal.
Yeah, that's a Spree spread. Now, when she says yes, okay, you can never, ever, ever, ever come back to me and say, well, you're not spending enough time with the family. No, I'm in my man cave, and you agree to this, so get out of my face. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, speaking
and Spree, also make sure that there's a big kitchen with a nice island. Trust me.
Oh, I have that.
Have some fun and a beautiful clouds and sun. And speaking of having fun, certain teams are having fun, and certain teams are not. So, G-Man, who has been your surprise teams in the East and in the West? and who's been your disappointing teams in the East and the West for you?
So I believe let's start with the West. The West is easy, right?
Mhm.
Because you have perennial players out there in the West.
Mhm.
So right now in the West, the discussion is between the Warriors and the Suns. Who's the best in the West? The Warriors or the Suns? And the ironic piece is we're not talking about the Lakers at all.
The Lakers have been a disappointment by far.
Absolutely. We're not talking
Huge
about the
disappointment.
Clippers. We're not talking about any of these teams, right?
Mhm.
So I think that the foundational piece to what we're talking about right now is we have to get away from what people like me that are in, I'll say post 50s, what we're used to seeing versus what we're seeing right now. I think that the perennial all-stars in the NBA right now in the West will be the Suns for me. Don't get it twisted. I still love the Warriors, but I believe that foundationally speaking, of what we're talking about, game in and game out, I'm taking the Suns over everybody else in the West.
So you're saying that your surprise team in the West right now is the Suns?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why, G Money. I'm gonna tell you why, because people automatically figured once Klay Thompson returned to the NBA,
Right.
then the Warriors would vault themselves back into that perennial status as being
Good point.
the team to beat in the West. I don't think the Suns are allowing that to happen right now.
I agree. And don't forget, Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, and James Wiseman, these guys have no playoff experience.
Exactly.
Andrew Wiggins looks good now. Maybe in the playoffs is different. Again, and Draymond Green is banged up. Again, on paper, the Warriors can go far in the playoffs, but maybe reality sets in that they don't go to the finals. Again, the Warriors are a good team, and I think the Warriors will be a top five. We can all agree on that.
Yeah,
But personally, for me, I don't see Golden State going to the NBA Finals this year because I just don't. Because people talk about Chris Paul being hurt. Steph Curry's injury prone too. Draymond Green might have an injury in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, ACL injury and Achilles. Who knows? He might get hurt. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying. And the young guys for the Warriors, Wiseman, we don't know how he's going to look from injury. And Poole, Wiggins, Kuminga, Lee, these guys have no experience in the playoffs. Time will tell, though. So that's my concern with the Warriors, though. And the Warriors are a great passing team and they're a great defensive team. But my other problem with Golden State, why I think they're going to struggle in the playoffs, is turnovers. They can be a little careless with the ball sometimes. So that's going to be a problem right there. My surprise team in the East, to that point, there's two of them for me. Really three. The Cavs. I did not expect Cleveland to be 32-21.
Me either.
Remember, the Cavs were 9-10. People forget about this. Cleveland was 9-10 to start the year.
I'm with you.
I'm surprised.
To me, the Bulls have been a big surprise. No one had the Bulls being number one.
I agree. Yeah.
Because people were talking about will DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic work, and also no one's talking about this team, the Toronto Raptors. 5 straight wins. They're the number 7 seed in the East. They're only a half game behind the Nets. Do you know that though? The Nets, look at the standings. They're only a half game behind the Nets in the standings, and Brooklyn's lost 7 in a row.
Mhm.
If you're Brooklyn, the little baby dinosaurs are snipping on behind your tail. You better snap out of your funk, or you might be in the play-in. You gotta be careful.
I'm with you. I would say this, G Money, and this is right here is about to have people looking at G Man like he is out of his mind. He is out here sniffing this doggone Florida sun, and he has lost his ever loving mind. The team for me in the East, and I agree with the first two teams that you talked about, 100%.
Surprise he's in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, for sure. But I think the team that people are not giving a lot of credence to right now are the Hornets. I believe that the Hornets are gonna show themselves at the proper time.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying I don't know when that time is gonna come, but just watching these guys play 90 in and 90 out, there's not a whole bunch. I look at chemistry when I look at basketball teams.
Absolutely. Right.
That's what I look for, right? So if you don't have chemistry on your team, if guys are not playing for one another, you are doomed to fail, 100%. And that's why I'm with the Knicks right now. But I believe that just because these guys, you got a bunch of young guys out here, they just want to see each other succeed, and that's impactful. So I believe that before this is over and done with, post uh um what do
Trade.
we
Trade
Trade,
not
deadline.
trade
trade deadline,
All-Star,
trade deadline.
no,
Also, also,
post All-Star games. The Charlotte Hornets are about to show themselves. I'm telling you right now.
I can agree with that. They're gonna make the. I think they'll make the playoffs for the first time since 2016. But I want to ask you, G-Man, who has
Yes,
been
sir.
your most disappointing team in the East and disappointing team in the West to that point?
So we'll start with the East first.
Mhm.
The team that I'm most disappointed with right now is the Brooklyn Nets. Just to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah.
Just to be honest, because you know the hype with this team coming into the beginning of the season was we got Kevin Durant, we got James Harden, we got
Mhm.
Kyrie Irving. So you might as well just go ahead and mail me the championship trophy now. We can't lose. But and I said this before, what people fail to realize how important chemistry is on a basketball team, on
It is.
any team, any organization that you go into. Chemistry is important. So if I don't get along with BX, if I don't get along with Spree, when we come together in a conglomerate, we doomed to fail because we don't get along, right? So that's important. So you have to understand and realize that when you talk about these personalities, these are $1 million personalities, right? So this is somebody that has been told from birth, you're going to be great. Everything that you do, nobody can question it, and just keep climbing that ladder, right? So when you get to the NBA and you got that mindset, so when Chef comes to G-Man and says, G-Man, you shooting too many threes, bro. You suck at shooting threes. I don't know why you keep shooting threes. So I'm looking at him like, but I'm the greatest of all time. You don't understand. My mama told me I'm the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? You know
Right.
what are you saying right now? What? What? You can't say that out your coach. Did you hear what he just said? Come on, man. Listen, I say all that to say this, and I'm gonna keep this real short. Chemistry is the most important thing that you can have on a basketball team right now, right? And the teams that will succeed in the postseason will be those teams that have that chemistry already embedded. These people that are still trying to figure it out
Mhm.
a couple games before the All-Star break, they in trouble. The Knicks are in trouble.
Oh,
And
big
there are a
time.
couple other teams out there that's in trouble right now.
Oh yeah.
So when you cannot tell me just because a person is a perennial player on another team and I bring
Right.
them here, we're going to be successful. That's just crazy talk. But you got to figure out what the chemistry is on your team and build towards that. G Money.
Good point. Great point there. You made some great points. The Nets, I mean, they're on their first 7 game losing streak since 2020, and they lost their first 4 games in a 5 game road trip. They got Denver. Here's the Nets schedule coming up. Let me bring up the Nets schedule coming up for the end of the month. Because sometimes I know Jedi likes doing 1 game at a time, one possession at a time, and I agree with that. I agree with Jedi, but sometimes I want to do like monthly, like keep it this month because I don't want to go too far ahead. I want to keep it like this month the schedule. So if you look at the Brooklyn Nets next few games, you're at Denver tomorrow on NBA TV. Then you're home against Boston on TNT. Could be Harden's final game as a net because he's in trade rumors, by the way. Then
Right?
you're at Washington Thursday on TNT. You're at Miami. You're home against Sacramento. You're at New York. Home against Washington. Home against Boston again. At Milwaukee. Home against Toronto to end the month. That's pretty tough if you're Brooklyn, though. That's a tough schedule if you're Brooklyn. So if you're the Nets, if you don't snap out of it soon, you might be in the plane sooner than later. I think the Nets. Look, here's my thing with Brooklyn. All right. One, they don't guard the perimeter very well. They don't guard the interior very well. They need a rim protector. If I were the Brooklyn Nets, if they can get a Serge Ibaka, if they can in the buyout, if they can get a Serge Ibaka, that can help a little bit though. They need a rim protector. If I were the Brooklyn Nets, and another thing with Brooklyn, they just gotta get healthy at some point. This team needs to get healthy. And I think by play again, I don't want to go too far ahead, but I think by playoff time, I think they might pay the fine for Kyrie to play home games. So I think that they're gonna do that. So that's my thing with the Nets. But who has been your Most disappointing team in the Western Conference for you, G man.
Oh, that's easy. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Lakers.
That's simple. The Lakers.
I
Lakers by
agree.
far.
The Lake. Look, listen.
They had an easy schedule to start the year. They didn't take advantage.
Yes. Look, listen. This is my thing about the Lakers, right? So the Lakers and the Nets, to me, are kind of here, right? Because you have two organizations that said, if I can go out and bring in big names, if I could go out and bring big personalities into this franchise, then we will be successful.
Mhm.
Taking out of the fact, chemistry. Again, I go back to chemistry, right? The chemistry don't work. The chemistry did that, and this is how you can tell. So when people have attitudes, Kyrie and Harden's attitude, not really working out for the Nets right now, right? So when you shift that out west, so LeBron is this. I find this to be amazing to me. Anytime that there's dissensions in the ranks for an organization, LeBron is not present.
True.
LeBron James is right now out of.
Say that again, G-Man. I didn't hear you. Say that
Listen,
again.
I'm gonna say it one more time.
Thank you.
Anytime there's dissension in the ranks with the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James is out of the picture. He's either hurt, on vacation, doing movie shoots. I don't care what it is. He's just not there. So he leaves. So don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not believe LeBron James is the GM for the Los Angeles Lakers, you are living on planet Pluto, out past where the sun can get to you and give you those vitamins you need for brain growth. I'm telling you, that's where you are right now.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Far away.
The Lakers have been far, far away all season.
Yes. So when you look at what the Lakers are doing right now, they're just trying to hold on. Anthony Davis is here today, gone tomorrow. Russell Westbrook, when he comes in, he's doing his thing. He's getting his stats up, and then all of a sudden, it's a problem because Westbrook is doing what Westbrook has always done. When you brought him to the organization, you knew who Russell Westbrook was. So now you're acting like you're surprised when you see it manifest itself on the court. Man, miss me with that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know who the general manager is. Well, I know who the general
Rob Pelinka.
Pelinka is the coach.
No, Vogel's the coach.
Vogel is the coach. Pelinka. So here we go. Pelinka has to make a decision because right now he has hitched his giddy up to LeBron James. As LeBron James ebbs and flows, so does Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka at the end of the season, in my opinion, will not have a job. Vogel, as the head coach for the Lakers, will not have a job. Now,
I think he's done.
What the Lakers need to hope and pray for is Bronny James when he enters the NBA. This is how I'm going to go down. I'm telling you. When he enters the NBA, that's the way his dad's going to go. Because he's always said, I want to play with my son. And I promise you, the Lakers are going to draft or in some way, shape, form, or fashion get Bronny James to play for the Lakers. You heard it here first. This breaking news. I'm telling you, this is going to happen.
They don't have the draft.
I don't see it. The Lakers are not bad enough. I don't see it. They're not bad enough.
They'll rig the lottery.
The other part is we don't know if Bronny is lottery bound because I don't mean to. How do I say this, man? Great athletes, it's rare. It's very, very rare. Very rare that you get a Griffey duo like that, where the son and the father are both very, but even more so than that, where both of them are like they're great athletes and on their way to achieving great things. Like it's very, very rare that you get a duo like that in the in the genetics. So I know Bron wants his son to be this, that, whatever. Like it's okay, but if Bronny gets drafted in the 20th pick, like because the NBA feels there are 19 kids that are better than him, like that's not something he can control either.
True, and sometimes the pick does not matter. It's the skill. Look at Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about when he used to play for Boston. He was like the 60th pick, and he was an all-star in Boston. Draymond Green, he was one of the lower pick. He played well with Golden State. He was an all-star. So it's not always how low your pick is. It's the It's the way your skill set is sometimes.
But
But
also when it comes to the young a superstar player, usually if the father is an NBA player, the son always surpasses. In Del Curry to Stephen Curry, vice versa. We also the
right,
great player, and then their son comes. Usually doesn't live up to the
right,
hype. You saw with Patrick Ewing's son. You know, you
true.
know. I also saw
Michael
both.
Jordan's
I
son.
saw both Michael Jordan's
Yeah,
sons played for the University of Central Florida here in Orlando. They both went to UCF. Not that great player. There comes a lot of expectation. Can Bronny live up to LeBron? Now, will
good
there be
point.
a team stupid enough to draft Bronny and reach, or because it's a double package bringing in a LeBron James? I could see that. Hey, if it's so, first game of the season, I will be at the Orlando Magic Arena watching Bronny and LeBron play for the Magic.
The Amway Center, the
At the
Amway
Amway.
Center,
Yeah, at the Amway.
At the
right,
end, you're gonna make me
right.
drive, BX. I'm gonna have to drive from Tampa just to come down and see that.
The only teams that I would see doing something like that is the Orlando Magic.
No, but
Something
it's
like
Pretty
that.
much.
worth it because you
It's a
want to
yeah.
bring in a winning culture, and regardless of the fact, even if LeBron James is at 39 years old at the end of his run, but to implement a winning atmosphere with his son and how it is to be maybe an all-time great, maybe a team like that needs to take that opportunity, or OKC. Although OKC you could say had success when they had the three-headed superstars in Westbrook, Durant, and Harden, but teams like that need it for that structure to take that opportunity to jumpstart, you could see that happening.
So,
Right,
so
right.
one thing that I say real quick, G-Man,
Right,
I
right, right.
don't mean to cut you off, but real
No, you're
quick.
good, you're good. You're good,
Uh,
you're good.
so what people need to understand, right? People view NBA players, NFL players, and Major League Baseball players, hockey players, all these professional athletes that we look at, and forget that they have a human aspect to what they do day in and day out, right? They still have a wife to go home to. They still have to answer to the wife to say, well, okay, we live in Southern California right now, to where it never rains, it never snows. But now you're telling me I need to forget everything that I have going on in Southern California, and we're about to move to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Stop playing right now. My wife would have me pinned up by my ears saying, no, that's not what we're doing. You can go. Go ahead and get your apartment, but we're going to maintain this house right here because I like where I'm at. To BX's point is this, right? When we talk about a LeBron James and his son, and LeBron has been very vocal in saying, I want to play with my son, right? So regardless of whatever else is going on, however else people view him, I want to play professional basketball at the highest level with my child, right? So if he can go to the Pinneapolis, I don't care, toenails. I don't care who you name. That's where he's going. If his son goes there, that's where he's going. I say all that to say this, G Money.
Mhm.
When we look at so take BX's hypothesis for one moment. So say for instance, Bronny ends up playing for the Magic. And then his father says, okay, well, whatever I got to do, I need to be a part of the Magic. This is the part that we miss. Where does the Magic play? Orlando. Where? Florida.
Yeah.
What do we not have in Florida, BX? We have
Taxes.
no state taxes. None whatsoever. So whatever money you get goes in your pocket. Now, LeBron James, being who LeBron James is, can come to Orlando and open any franchise or any business venture that he wants to open up and be successful. So why would he not do that? I don't know. LA is LA, but LA has taxes. So if you're
Too
going
much.
to send me between an LA franchise and a Florida franchise, guess where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen? All day long, every day, all day. I'm living the Florida life. It's what it is. So, Brian, what I'm telling you is this. When you come in here, send G-Man for life an advanced script of what you want your jersey number to be, so I can go ahead and get that ordered up front. That's all I'm asking for.
Right. And that's crazy. Bronny potentially, me in Orlando. Who knows? Time will tell. We don't know where he's gonna go. Who knows?
Hey, we
And
need
we'll
some Our pizzas suck down here. So what is he? Doesn't he have a franchise in Marco's Pizza?
No.
Yeah.
So Bron's franchise is Blaze Pizza.
Blaze Pizza. We don't have no
Blaze
Blaze Pizza down here. So
I-
come on
we
down,
have
man.
we have one in Tampa, and it's
Oh,
the
you
bomb
do?
diggity.
Oh, it really is. I haven't had one in Orlando. There is no Blaze Pizza. I thought it was Marco's. Hey, bring it down,
Right.
man. There's always room to expand. You know, taxes are
Absolutely.
cheap.
Absolutely.
Right,
BX,
right.
BX, I'm gonna have to get you to Tampa, bro. We're gonna have to hang out and
Yeah, you've been saying that for the longest. My phone
Ooh.
hasn't rang. I'm waiting. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I got like the Blues Brothers says. I got a full pack of cigarettes. I got a pack of cigarettes, a full tank of gas, and I'm ready to go.
No doubt. We gonna hook it up, brother, for sure. For sure.
Right,
Let me
right.
ask you this. Any thoughts?
Right.
What's your thoughts on that piece from? I loved it that he actually spoke to the media, although he tried to extinguish it. I'm talking about Julius Randle.
Right.
Again, Mark Berman, God bless his soul, trying to stir up things. I have a whole take about that myself.
Yeah.
What's your thought? Let's hear it from
I
him.
mean, do you think that's just rubbish? I mean,
Who reported it?
I mean, it's been out there that the Knicks are open.
Who reported it?
A couple of reported.
That's not my. You don't know. You just.
I mean,
talking.
no, I know it's been out there.
Who reported it?
Do we know?
Good job, Mark.
No, I mean,
Okay, next question.
No, it's been out there.
Who reported it, Mark?
ESPN, I believe.
You just making up stuff?
No. It's been out there.
Who reported it, Mark?
I think Ian Begley reported that the
Okay.
team is open to. What was he saying? I don't know.
To trading Julius for the
That sound
right.
like gossip to me, Mark.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Have you talked to management about, what might need to be done, or,
You said what might need to be done? I just trust them, man. I think they do a great job. It's part of the reason, like we talked in the summer, when I signed my extension, because I trust them. So.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I think a reporter's too much on YouTube channels, and he should be covering the team more. My
Yes.
opinion, and stop with the
Yes.
gossip and the bullshit. I'm gonna say it just
Too
like that.
much.
Because you know what? They want the Knicks to. This is my opinion. My thought. I think they want the Knicks to be terrible. Because if we're good and we're doing, what the hell is he gonna write? Nothing. There's no plus peep. There's nothing to write about. There's nothing to talk about. And it comes from Fred Katz, Berman, any one of these guys. We should keep Julius. We should trade Julius and try to rebuild. In my opinion, because they want the negative crap. They want bad stuff. They want the Knicks to suck and be terrible. If the Knicks are good and they're 12 games over 500, there's not much to. There's no newspapers. There's no clickbait. There's nothing to write about, and that's why they like it. That's why they don't. You think about all of a sudden now they're coming around and making the rounds. How come? Where were you last year? I didn't see you on NBK, giving your time, Uncle Freezy or any other places, giving your time to talk about the team and how it was a feel good story. And I think it would help now that the team is tanking or not tanking, terrible, not living into expectation. You're making your rounds everywhere now. Think about it. It's clickbait, guys. Don't fall for it. That's just my opinion.
You can make a case. You really can make a case. What I got from the interview is like, if you're Mark Berman, first of all, why ask him about the All-Star thing? That was disrespectful, in my opinion. That was really disrespectful. Two, also the trade thing. Like, you knew it was from Brian Windhorst, in my opinion. You knew, so why try to mix it up though? Just
Then
tell
he threw
Julius.
Ian Begley under the bus. Come on.
Ian Begley, come on, that's not fair, man. That's not fair. Like, Ian Begley is, I'm pretty sure he's a good guy. That's not fair, him. I don't know with some of these reporters, man. I don't know what's going to
Let me educate you guys real quick. Right?
Go ahead.
So
Gino.
I've been
Go ahead, man.
in certain aspects of my life to where I was forced into a spot to where I had to speak with reporters. And before you go out and speak to a reporter, let's not get it twisted. There's somebody in your ear saying what you can talk about and what you can't talk about.
Correct.
What is you can give your opinion on, what you need to get facts on, and what is just taboo right off the bat. So whenever the reporter asks you about, and the reporters know what they're going to ask you about, so you have to deflect that right off the bat. Oh, next question. So I'm not even talking about what you're talking about right now. Next question. We're not even giving that credence. So the one thing I will applaud Julius Randle for was this. When the question was asked to him, he asked a question with the question Rightfully so, because if you're going to
Mhm.
ask me, G-Man for life, why do you put 40 feet of water in your pool? Okay, pool guy, who told you that? How do you know that's what I do? What
Good
what what
point.
is what is who is your source?
Good
Who's
point.
telling you that this is what's going on? Because when you feed into the narrative, you become a part of the narrative, and your
Mhm.
story gets lost. Right? You have to establish a base to where if you want to interview G-Man for life, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to answer the questions I want to answer, and the questions that I don't want to. Guess what? I'm not even going to entertain them. I'm going to wave them off, and what's going to end up happening is the person that's asking these questions is going to look like Ubu the fool at the end of the
Pretty
day.
much.
Exactly.
Pretty
So
much, yeah.
I just want to say this: like the better question should have been, Julius. The trade deadline's coming up. You know, I know things haven't gone your way this year. Do you want to be here still? Something like that. Like at least like
Yes.
turn it to him and how
Right,
he
right.
sees
That's a
the
great
team.
question.
Not Julius. I've heard blank sources without actually saying who you heard it from, which is not fair.
Exactly.
That's why
That's
he asked the
horrible,
question.
disrespectful.
That's why he asked the question, and they didn't even get it right. You're right. It was Windhorst on a podcast who said he was hearing
Exactly.
it.
Mhm.
So like they didn't even get it right. So the whole thing is just bad. First of all, that's bad reporting. Number one, because
Yeah.
you didn't get the source right. Number
Yeah.
two, you clearly tried to put him in a bad position. If you're gonna put him in a bad position and make the guy feel bad, at least get the facts right of what you're saying. Look, to G-Man's point.
I agree.
Here's the other thing I want to add to all of this is that
Georgia.
I was following this. This is the correct order of the reports that came out. First, a guy under the name of Ballsack Media on Twitter. Ballsack Media
Okay.
puts out a report that Julius says that he feels he's equal to Zion and Giannis and things of that nature.
Right.
That
Mm.
picks up steam. So then Ballsack Media tests the market again and puts out that Julius is requesting a trade.
Right.
That picks
I
up
saw
steam
that.
along with Julius's bad play and the fans being mad at him.
Right.
Then you add in the fact that what Windhorst really said was that he heard that the Knicks were shopping around for De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
So the only salary that would make sense is Julius Randle, meaning the Julius Randle part is still an opinion.
Yes.
He's trying to connect dots, but that dot is an opinion. So when he's doing that, it's like, okay, that like all it is assumptions here, assumptions there.
Facts.
Mhm.
Then you ask Mark Berman to
Okay.
cite his sources, and Mark Berman couldn't do that. That's what made Mark Berman look all the way bad. Is that as a reporter, if there's one thing you got to know, like if you're coming up to someone with a piece of information and they ask you for your sources, they have to be a reputable source.
Concrete.
I agree.
Yes.
Pretty much.
No, I agree.
And
Yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
we requested an interview with Ballsack Media, and he's gonna give us some dates. So this guy will be on, just to let you know.
So
Yeah.
No disrespect to Ballsack Media, but I missed his reporting. I only got the Brian Windhorst piece. Sorry to Ballsack Media.
When that happens, please, can I just sit on the panel? I ain't got to speak. Just let me be on the
Yeah.
panel. Please.
Yeah, he also told us the Knicks are in they're scouting a player that they might sign as a unrestricted free agent. I got footage.
Sheesh.
Oh, so-
Man, that was wiggity. Man, his jumper looked funky. Looked funky.
Look, I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing. Cause G-Man for
You
life,
could imagine us
he in
doing
the
that.
same outfit on the court doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I could see myself doing the same
I
thing.
know my limitations.
Why not hitting? Why just jagging a bunch of threes and not hitting the rim? Not even close.
No, I'm gonna hit the rim at least. I got
I
something.
think you guys will splash those three balls. I think you guys will bang, bang, bang. It goes in.
That's crazy, boy. That is crazy. Oh my god.
And speaking
But,
of,
Yeah, shout out to Ballsack Media for
Shut up.
stirring up the Knicks fans because that's all you really needed. A couple of bad performances from Julius, excuse me.
Julia,
He better not.
I
Jay,
Physically impossible to squat with one hand up?
Squat with one hand up?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Hi, Papi.
Amanda, seriously, why?
Ay, caramba.
Oh yeah, y'all wild today. Oh my God, y'all wild today for sure.
Well,
Oh,
speaking of splashing and cashing, G-Man, what do you think about those awesome, weird reserves, All-Star reserves? What do you think about that? The All-Star reserves. You got the Dusty's being the land, James Harden. You also have Chris Middleton's in there, Fred VanVleet. You have Darius Garland. You have Jason Tatum.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler's there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Who else is there? And
hold on, I get it for you. Hold on, no, that's
thank
the
you.
wrong
Yeah,
one. Hold on,
yeah,
I got the reserve.
the All-Star reserves. You got the Beard, Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, Fred VanVleet, Jimmy McBuckets, Chris Middleton, Darius Garland for the East.
Oh, sorry,
And for you're fine. You're fine. For the West, you got Luka Doncic, the point guard, D Book, Spider Mitchell, Draymond Green, Big Cat, and Rudy Gobert. Ooh la la. Yeah. Do you think any of these guys deserve to be? What do you think about the All-Star reserves in general?
So, just depending on, I'm not privy to who the voting parties were and what their mindset was when they went into the room to vote for who was supposed to be on the All-Star team. I think it had a lot to do with relationships. I think it had a lot to do with people perpetuating franchises to move forward. But that's just G-Man's. So shall we say conspiracy theory, right? But there is something to that. When you look at who is on the reserve roster,
mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, how we solidify what the reserve roster is how many people off this reserve roster actually plays in the All-Star game. Who on that All-Star roster that people voted for that said that these are the All-Stars for the NBA will actually play basketball?
Draymond might not. I don't think Draymond's going to play. I think DeJounte Murray's going to replace him. That's my guess. I think, and this is just me. I'm sorry for interrupting you, G-Man. I'm sorry.
You good, brother. Go ahead. It's your show.
I like James Harden, but he should not be on this list. And same thing with Chris Middleton. It has to be names. It's like LaMelo Ball should be here, in my opinion, or Jared Allen. Come on, like the Cavs are third in the East. Jared Allen should go, or you could have LaMelo Ball.
But see, this is why I say it's all a politics game. For me, man, I think what the NBA has caught wind on is that these players, all of them have egos. All of them have egos and feel that they deserve to be in one way or another. So at this point, you get the guys in that are regulars, and some of these guys, like some of the votes, they put a vote like Draymond Green. I know he's been great this year, but he's not an all-star caliber this year.
No, he's not this season. No, it should have been DeJounte Murray, in my opinion.
No, and it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But he is injured, so he's not going to play. So that allows for them to give him an all-star nod while giving someone else an all-star nod.
Okay.
Who probably wasn't like they probably should have given it to them originally, but it's like, hey, we're playing politics here. Like at the end of the day, the All-Star game, which used to be a sense of pride for some of those players back in the day,
it was intense back then.
Now it's a marketing and political weekend. That's all it is. It's just it's the one day out of the year where I guess everyone in the NBA kind of agrees to say, hey, let's push the agenda forward so we can all line our pockets up. And that's why it's not I don't take it too seriously. Some of the guys who feel like they should be all-stars, if they're not, this, that, whatever. Another thing too that, a lot of the time that they're testing to see is, can these people be consistent? Is it not just a flash in the pan?
Right. Right. And another thing that adds to your point too, I miss East versus West. Why we need captains, man? Just do East versus West. Do it back then, East versus
Be-
West, man.
I agree with
because
you.
but the times change. G Money. There
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
time in the literally man around the time that LeBron James entered the league, and I'd say roughly around his third to fourth year, uh, player movement it started to be a large thing, along with how the GMs were moving some of these players, and especially at the time when LeBron decided to move from the Cavaliers to Miami, it allowed a whole slew of movement to where the East All-Stars did not measure up to the Western Conference All-Stars.
Right.
At that point you have to change the format, because it's not like
Mm,
these guys are going to migrate back.
I
They're
mean,
not in it for the competitive stance. They're in it to, stack the chips in their favor and secure a
yeah,
championship.
but that's back then. That's back then. But now the Eastern Conference is more competitive now, and today
But
the East is more competitive.
and that's why the league has always been reactionary. They're never gonna change that up until they see it's a problem too late. You notice that with the All-Star games, they
Mhm.
changed the scoring system because they
That
noticed they
was
were
dumb.
losing money.
Yeah, they made it to target scores now. It's a
but
target
they
score.
but, but they changed it because they were losing money. If they don't have a reason to, because they're not losing any bottom dollar, it makes no sense. Similar to what Madison Square Garden does in regards to its tickets. They're not going to change the ticket price. They make the bottom line. So at that point, you can't, the product may seem a little juvenile, it doesn't seem right to you. It doesn't seem, consistent with the spirit of the game, but they're not doing it for the spirit of the game. They're doing it for the bottom line. And once we start to understand that, that's when we can say, all right, how can we present ideas to the NBA it'll do two things. Number one, it'll keep the integrity of the spirit of the game while helping them achieve their bottom line, because
Right.
these players, they play to feed their families at the end of the day. And we
Right.
can't be unfair to say, hey, just do it for the love of the game.
Gentlemen, I got to bounce, but
All right.
G Money, appreciate you.
Thank you,
VX,
Spray. Thank you, man.
Jedi, appreciate
Thank
Thank
you
you,
you,
man.
man.
having me on. It's always a pleasure. Keep doing big things. Everybody subscribe, like, come back here tonight for the live stream. And, I always support what you guys are doing, Chef Dan. G-Man, you're on the. I'm with you on the Obi thing. We always believed, even when
Yes, indeed.
when they
Yes,
criticized
indeed.
last year, we said just give him time. He'll be
No
okay.
doubt.
Mm,
No
All right,
doubt.
man.
Spree,
right.
thank you, Spree.
Peace.
Salute.
Thank you, Spray. And speaking of a potential trade, Phoenix potentially getting DeMontis Sabonis and a potential trade. Do you think Sabonis would help the Suns? What do you think about that? And also the Cavs probably getting Levert. What do you think about that? Those two situations.
Uh, I think that first and foremost, we have to understand how the Suns solidify their organization at
Mhm.
present. Right? So Sabonis could be a plus to any organization that he goes into if
Mhm.
allowed to perform the way that he was performing with the Pacers. Right?
Right.
But that's not to say that if the Suns would okay a trade for Sabonis, that they bring him in that same with the same mindset. So again, I talked about on a previous show the chemistry of a team is
Right.
important. So
Right.
regardless of who you're bringing in, they have to fit the privy of what the team is. If I bring Chef to my organization, I'm like, Chef, understand you are great in this right here, right? I have seen, I have sampled, I'm in agreement when we say that you are the best at this right here. But guess what, Chef? This right here, not what I need for you to do when you come here. I need for you to come from here to here, and here is where I need for you to be, and I need for you to support the supporting cast, right? That's that
Right.
chemistry piece. So a Sabonis, to me, in name, if you are in the Suns organization and for whatever reason, I don't know what that reason is, but for whatever reason, you need to make a move and to say that I'm not standing pat on what we got right now, and I want to see this happen. Go out and do what you do, right? I think it's a mistake. I don't think there's anything on this team right now, then I need to go out and adjust based on what we're talking about today.
Well, true. Well, the Suns, they have the talent. I do think they need another forward or another forward. They have the guard, but I think they need another forward off the bench. I think Eric Gordon can help. If they can get an Eric Gordon, I think that can help a little bit. I mean, Robert Covington was there, but I never thought he was going to Phoenix. So I think Eric Gordon can help stretch the floor off the bench. Because the problem with the Suns is that even though we have a lot of young talent, our bench, even though we have a good bench, we need another scorer off the bench. Our problem last year in the NBA Finals was that we couldn't score off the bench. Again, you know I'm rooting for the Knicks, but I'm also rooting for the Suns too, by the way, G-Man. So it's like the problem with Phoenix last year is that we couldn't score off the bench in the finals. So I think we need another bench scorer, in my opinion. I don't mind Sabonis, but I don't think that's going to happen. But the Cavs getting LeVert potentially, that can help because LeVert could be a guy that's been to the playoffs before. I know it's only one time in 2019, but he's a bucket getter that can create his own shot and can penetrate. What do you guys think about that?
Karis LeVert to Phoenix.
Cleveland, potential Cleveland.
Oh no, I'm talking. Let me talk. Let me get to the Phoenix situation. If I don't think Phoenix will pull that trigger for Sabonis because they're looking, they're not going to sign. I don't think they're going to sign DeAndre Ayton long term. I think they don't want to be over the cap. They want to, they're close to the cap, and he wants to command max deal. I could see him playing out the season and a signing trade. But for them to add beef, or there has to be an expiring power forward, in my opinion, that they're going to bring on for the stretch run. Because I don't know, I don't see Sabonis making that move over to Phoenix. I don't see Phoenix pulling the trigger because of that. Money wise, the same thing with Dallas. Dallas is another team that's talking about cap wise, and Utah. There's a few three teams. Utah, this is the second year that they're in the penalty of going over the tax. So that's why that Donovan Mitchell story is getting traction, not because of he wants out, because they got to find a way to try to lose money, to save money. Alex Burks has been the name that they mentioned. Going to Utah will save us those $9 million, whatever this contract is, for us to get Joe English, because then Joe English is an expiring contract, get off their books, and Utah would actually save money from the luxury tax if they were to grab an Alex Burks. Those kind of moves, those kind of trades, I could see happening there. The Karis LeVert to Cleveland, to get to your point, G Money, is that could be a possibility because they're going to have the Rookie Rubio injury exemption. They can see that's a player they could try to bring in there. I think Karis LeVert will help a Cleveland Cavaliers if they could bring there. But would you see those two in conference rivals or even division rivals make a trade? It's like saying, the Knicks and Toronto Raptors make a deal, that kind of move. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Cleveland don't have that much draft capital to try to move. Dallas actually, Indiana wants draft capital. They want draft picks. They look like they're going on a full rebuild. So those type of moves there, unless if there's a third team involved, to get in there, we could see. But I don't see LeVert ending up in Cleveland. But you know what? The stranger things has happened. You never know.
It may be that this year's trade deadline, you're going to have to try and trust a lot of the teams that are, in your division, in your conference, because those are the teams you have a easier time scouting versus those Western Conference teams. A lot of the time this year, we're seeing that, teams are coming in with mixed bags. Sometimes they're coming in and they're overachieving. Sometimes they're coming into an arena and they're underachieving. You're never really getting a good grasp unless you're playing these guys a lot. So I think this year's trade deadline, we may see a lot more teams, trading within conferences. We saw that with the Clippers and the Trailblazers, with them two making that trade. So it wouldn't be a foreign idea to me. With the Phoenix Suns trying to acquire Sabonis, don't try and reinvent the wheel. You're 41-9, I believe, right now.
41-10.
41-10. Don't try and reinvent the wheel right now. Not only that, but I believe, Sabonis doesn't Sabonis is an additional piece, yeah, but it doesn't help you. It feels like you're just adding maybe another flair to what you have, but he's not something that's concrete and helping you. If you feel like G Money, like you said, observing the team that they need someone off the bench scoring, then that's what you trade for. And Sabonis
Mhm.
doesn't help that. He doesn't help alleviate the roster spot to do that. That doesn't make
Mhm.
sense. In
Yeah.
regards to the Cavaliers trading with the Pacers in order to get Karis LeVert, um, I know people have been saying that maybe the Pacers don't do that trade, but maybe they do. Maybe you help a conference rival in getting more wins, and so it helps your record look even worse. Maybe they
Mhm.
beat you a lot more times. It helps you get that draft pick that you're looking for because it's been rumored that you're looking to rebuild.
Mhm.
It doesn't, sometimes people see it as, hey, you building up your competition, but in a sense, if you have a whole different timeline, maybe by
Right.
the time your kids are ready, those guys are older and they're maybe not on the same team because there's a lot more mobility in the
Mhm.
league and guys are not trying to stay committed to one team.
Facts.
It's a
True.
it's really open-ended. And so with the regards to the Cavaliers, I also see it being a potential, a reuniting of two teammates in Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. Those two
True.
guys,
Used to
hopefully
play
you
with the
have them.
Nets. Yeah.
Yeah, you play them together. You have that chemistry. Play off the fact with the chemistry that Jared
Mhm.
Allen and what's his name? I just said his name.
Garland.
Darius Garland is building, and so you have Garland playing with a two man that can score in Karis LeVert.
Mhm.
He already knew how to play in a guy in uh what is this guy's name? He just got
Garrett
injured.
Levert.
No,
Colin
Russell.
Sexton. Colin
Colin
Sexton.
Sexton.
Colin Sexton. He's also a two guard that's known to score more so than distribute, like a Karis LeVert. So you can play with the guy in him. So it's all about reuniting those type of pieces, and also what Cleveland's trying to do is strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
you
can't
have
fault
to.
them for that.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to. Because you look at now, and hindsight is 2020, and look at us. What could we have had a last trade off season trade? We
Mhm.
if we knew we were going to have that shortcomings in the playoffs. What could we have done and added to help that and our shortcomings? With the last year's trade, we stand pat, which was the right move. To be honest with you, we didn't give away access, but if we knew
Pretty
that we
much.
could add just one trade to add in there, maybe the Knicks might have exploit and done something. So that's, I think, a lot of teams this year are going to see that too, man. That are saying, man, remember, tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. Next year isn't promised to anyone. So sometimes you don't have to be reckless either and mortgage the whole future. But if you could give us
Right.
something to improve, you're gonna have to think about that. You never know, the opportunity might seize again.
Pretty
Most
much,
definitely.
pretty much, pretty much. And also, when you make a trade, it doesn't just work right away. You have to make them. You have to help the player adjust to that. Because sometimes trades don't always work, though. Like sometimes you can make a trade. It helps sometimes, but other times it doesn't. Like look at the Lakers, for example. On paper, whoa, Westbrook, LeBron, AD. Oh my God, super team. Right now, 9 seed. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
The
I don't think Westbrook is being traded from the Lakers. I don't think anyone in the NBA is willing to take that because the
Uh,
Lakers draft picks.
I know.
No,
I
the
mean,
Lakers
there
draft picks
is.
doesn't look sexy though.
It
I'm
doesn't
not
look
saying it's gonna
sexy.
happen.
It will never look sexy. But the other thing is, there is one team that is willing to trade for Russell Westbrook, but that's because the deal had been done before, and they're willing to do it again.
Oh, of course, we don't know that.
Wall for Westbrook.
That's
I
the
know,
only
but
one. To be honest with you, G man, what do you think? You think that Westbrook could be moved for Wall? I mean, that's the
I
only
don't
one. Do
think
you
that's
see
gonna
another team?
happen.
But do you see another team in there? I don't see another team.
So a couple things with Wall. Wall isn't happy in his current situation, right?
In
So
Houston,
Wall is,
yeah.
is on record for saying he wants to be bought out. He wants his contract bought out so he can go play with someone else. So I could see if the Lakers organization feels like Wall can bring some stability or a positive aspect to what they're trying to build, then yeah, I can see that happening. Absolutely, 100%. No one in the NBA. Let me be clear. Let's be clear right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
No one in the NBA is untradeable.
I
Nobody.
agree.
Right? Okay.
I
Nobody.
agree with that. I
I
agree.
agree.
So regardless, so whatever your situation is on your current team and where your current team is trying to go, if you're trying to win now, if they want to chip, if they want to build for future, you don't know what that is because you, as a player, are not privy to these conversations. What
Correct.
you do as a player is you have employed an agent. Your agent is supposed to field these phone calls because you're spending too much time at the all-you-can-eat buffets, at the strip club, or at your local car dealership to go get, the next best thing that you got going on. That's what you're doing. You're living your best life. I'm not faulting you for that. I ain't gonna hate you for that. Because if G-Man for Life can do that, guess what? I'll be doing the same thing. BX Jedi will be my agent, and BX, go out and make all the best deals that you can make, bro. I give you carte blanche to do whatever we need to do. That's what the NBA players are doing. So what we can't get confused on, ladies and gentlemen, is this. We have an idea of how to build a championship NBA team. Let's just be real for 1 second, right?
True.
Think about what I just said. We in Knicks Nation, right, have an idea of what we need to do to build a championship NBA team. That's that Monday morning quarterbacking, because you're not held responsible or accountable for any decisions that you make. But these people that we're talking about that's making multi-million dollars a year, every decision that you make affects that. My wife is accustomed to being able to go to Golden Sachs, Gucci store, Louis Vuitton store, and buy whatever she wants without any threat of having that credit card decline. So what? The first time the credit card decline, and she comes home, it's a problem. I'm not trying to live through that. I say all that to say this. Let's be a little bit more, I'm not going to say compliant, forgiving to decisions that have been made. We have to see how these things are played out, right? We, as Knicks fans, have no idea what the conversations are that's going on in the back room. When I call G Money at 2 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep, and I wake him up and he upset, G Money, check this out.
No, you're good.
Hey, look, check this out. I'm sorry for waking you up, but this is what's
That's
on
all
my
right,
mind.
bro. That's all right, man.
This is what's on my mind. Hey, look, I got this feeling about Chef, right? I think Chef could be that next best thing coming, right? But in order for us to get Chef, we're gonna have to convince BX to take a pay cut. And so what did but G Money, this is my thought process, right? This is my thought process. When we're talking about Chef, we're gonna give him that bonus, but on GX's part, he's gonna take a pay cut from the salary range. However, I got these doggone what do we call them?
Endorsement deals.
Endorsements. I got endorsements for him. I got $1.2 million worth of endorsements ready to go right now today. So if we can make that happen, everybody's good, and we continue to move forward. And that's a phone call. That's a phone call I make at 2 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep. Do you think that these people that are actually doing these things on a day-to-day basis aren't having these conversations? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, Knicks fans of all ages, I'm telling you, those conversations are going on right now today.
Probably.
We may agree to disagree about how it all boils out, but at the end of the day, the only thing I want to see is this franchise becoming better in the long term. That's all.
Right. And speaking of this franchise in NYC, we're on the top 5-game road trip, G-Man. We have Los Angeles, Utah, Denver, Golden State, and Portland. What do you think we do on that road trip? I say we beat the Lakers tonight. I say we lose to the Jazz. We lose to the Nuggets. If the Warriors play their starters, we may lose that game. I think we'll beat the Blazers. I say we go 2-3 on our road trip. You?
I agree with the 2 and 3. I don't see us being a 500 team on this stretch, but I think we can get 2 games out of this stretch, just depending on how things pan out. But I think we can get 2 out of the 5 for sure.
T-Man, I know you're sitting down right now.
Strap yourself
in.
Strap
yourself in. But before I give you my point, I want to say hello to the first lady of MBK.
Hey.
Always the
Nice to-
gracious, the
Hey,
most
welcome.
wonderful person. Salute, Stephanie. I'm glad you're back. I appreciate you. Happy New Year. I haven't even spoken since last
Happy
year.
New Year
How
to
are
all
you?
of you. I wasn't
Happy
sure if
New
I
Year.
should pop on. You guys got a full all-star cast, so I wasn't sure, but
Mhm.
I said
Hey,
I would pop
I don't
in
mind.
for a
I don't mind
little
going to the bench for you anytime.
No
Mhm.
doubt.
And
I know.
and then I look, it said G Money. This is G Money
Thank
show.
you.
Look
Thank
at you,
you.
G Money. Look at
Thank,
you.
thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
congratulations
for sure.
to you. The point and to everybody, you BX, Sergeant Nicks, Chef, if he's still
Yeah, he's there. He's here.
if
He's
still
there. He's
back
there.
there. But
Yeah, I
what
had to
made
run
me
take care of something. Sorry.
that's
Hey,
okay.
Steph, how you doing? Sorry.
I'm good. What made me jump on, and then I'll get back to the predictions for this upcoming week, was I forgot who it was who said you got to strike as far as Cleveland is concerned while the iron is hot. And somebody made the point of where we were last year at the trade deadline, and
Mhm.
we were going back and forth with a lot of the Knicks wins wasn't because of talent. It was more about that chemistry. And if we bring somebody in with that break up the chemistry, and should we do it or should we do
Good
it
point.
not?
Good
And
point.
I remember saying, I think it would mess up the chemistry for a little bit, but to get more talent in here, it might be worth it. But now I don't even know if that's correct, because I'm looking at this team, which I think is more talented than last team, but has
Oh, by
absolutely
far.
no chemistry. So I'm
Yes.
They're
like,
just
maybe chemistry is
inconsistent
the
between.
most important thing. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
and speaking of teams with chemistry, I want to ask you, Steph, who has been your surprise teams to this point in the NBA to this point? excuse me?
Cleveland has been a surprise. I mean, I knew the Eastern Conference would be tough, right? Because before the season started, we kind of went through the rosters, and I'm like, wow, Charlotte, everyone has been, is really upgraded their roster, right?
Mhm.
So I would say
Toronto
Cleveland.
improved too.
That was my other team,
Who's my
Toronto.
fault?
I mean,
5 in a row.
yeah. Toronto has been, and even Boston is on a little run, but they always had
On a
those
roll.
two horses. So, it's always about what you're going to put around them and their growth, in order to take advantage of the talent they had. And I think they've won like 4 or 5 in a row
Yeah,
themselves.
they're on 4. Yeah, 4 in a row. Yeah, and don't sleep
Yeah.
on Chicago. Chicago's been a huge surprise. Number 1 seed in the East.
That's probably my number one surprise. I mean, it's so many.
So many,
You can
right?
say
Yeah.
Charlotte too, right? I think when they made those moves, I think the issue was with they gel, and you got DeRozan, and it looked like a clunky lineup with DeRozan and Vucevic, and like, how is that all gonna fit together? Man, oh man,
Fit like a puzzle. Fits like a puzzle.
It
Fits like a puzzle. And also, what you like about the Bulls, they're athletic. They have good defense. You have Caruso, Derrick Jones, and they've not been healthy. The Bulls have not been healthy at all this year. Jones has missed games. Lonzo's missed games. Vucevic, DeRozan. They've not been healthy at all, and they're still winning games like this. But another surprise team, I want to throw in there the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves have been a surprise.
Oh, we going into the West Conference? Yes, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we're quick on the Bulls. One thing is, that's what will happen when you play everyone on your roster, and don't let them just sit there eat bench. Just saying. Just saying.
Right.
Billy D.
Cam Reddish.
Cam, yeah. And right. And the Bulls know how to make the right adjustments. But my other surprise team in the West. Well, okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's fine. No. You're good.
But who's for your all right,
right.
Right. It's just I don't want to be rude because I want people to speak their mind, speak their.
No, it's
point.
okay.
I
I wasn't even thinking about the Western Conference when you asked the question. I was thinking about the East.
Doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. The East, West. Who's been your surprise teams in the West? To say for you,
the Lakers. The other way.
Well, that's actually disappointing.
Way.
That's actually disappointing, though.
Right.
I meant to say surprise teams in a good way. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and in a good way.
Yeah, and we had the stands right.
It would have to be Memphis. Thank you for pulling that up. It would have to
I'll
be
leave it
Memphis.
up there one more time. Hold on.
I didn't think Memphis would be third. I think they were in the play-in. Was that last year where they were?
They were in the play-in. They had to win 2 of them. They beat San Antonio and Golden State to make the playoffs. Barely as the 8th seed.
Yeah. And look at that. I would have to say Memphis
Mhm.
in a good way, like you said, Minnesota. Mm, I think that would be it. If we're just talking about in a good
What
way.
about Dub Nation? The Warriors are now a surprise, 40-13. Remember, they only won 39 games last year. They're at 40 wins now. The Warriors are not a surprise to you?
But you were adding Clay Thompson though, and
Yeah, but we
you had
Even
Kaminga. You had a really
yeah,
good
but
draft class in there, dude.
I understand, but 40-13 good. I did not expect that. Come,
and even
yeah,
before Clay came back, they at one point I believe they were in first place. But did they have another addition that came back this year, or this was pretty much the same team other than Clay?
let me see. They
No,
they added Iggy, Otto Porter, Bielitsa. When I look at the Warriors
they
going to
had
the,
two top 15 draft picks in that added to the
But I
line.
don't know
but
if
I
they
didn't know how they were gonna fit though. That was the
contributing.
thing.
I don't think they were contributing. Like when they were winning, I don't think they were a big part of it though.
But
Mhm.
now, when you talk about, you see a lot of Kaminga highlights when you
He's
look at
playing
the Golden
great.
State Warriors. He's playing phenomenal. He's developing right in time when they really kind of need him, middle of the season, where maybe the veterans may be a little worn down or cover the heavy load. Now you influx the young talent in there, and
Right.
now they become elitely dangerous, veterans
Woohoo.
and youth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've not been healthy. We got yes, I know they're Clay and I know they have nice talent, but we gotta be fair with the Warriors. They've not been healthy. Draymond's missed a lot of games. And don't forget, Steph Curry's not had that good of a season this year compared to last year when he was amazing. And it's still the fact that they're 40-13 and they're one of the best defensive teams. We all love their offense, but their defense is what we need to talk about. They're great on ball. They get in the transition. They're a great defensive team. If the Warriors can just get healthy, they're gonna be a tough out in the playoffs.
It
No doubt
seems like
about it.
the only thing that the Warriors are missing right now, funny enough, is a big who can be a presence in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's James Wiseman. So they have everything they need. If anything,
And I
as
think
long
he's
as that,
close to coming back too.
he's close to coming back. But my thing is like, while he wasn't there, imagine the type of practices they were running with him, how Draymond is getting in his ear, telling him what he needs to do. Because last year, I know he didn't have the world's great season, but there were moments where they were showing moments of Draymond getting in his ear and having him be very, very confident. And so he used that type of confidence as sometimes while Steph is on the court, Steph and Draymond is on the court, he's running the ball down the court, setting Steph up for something. And then if Steph misses the shot, he immediately sets himself low post, get rebound and bring it back up. Like,
Right.
as long as those guys are grooming and developing him right, it seems like they have everything they need. And so the Warriors, I wish they could be a surprise.
I did not see 40-13. Come on.
You don't
Yeah,
see 40-13, but if you
Before
add
you
back
know,
Klay Thompson,
Clay
if you
came
tell
back
me
from
you're
two
getting back
injuries.
Klay
I did not say
Thompson,
that. I didn't know how he was going to look. That was the thing. Remember, Clay just came back. He didn't just come back, too. He just came back. We have to understand this, though. Again, I know the Warriors are talented. I'm not denying it. They're a very talented team. But consider this, too. We didn't know how Wiggins was going to look. Wiggins was known as a bust going into this year. 2, Steph Curry this season has not been this. Steph Curry is a great player. He's not played well this season compared to last year. Let's be honest, though.
Right.
Also, remember, Draymond Green's been injured most of the season. He's missed, almost 20 straight games. Klay Thompson, we didn't know how he was going to look from injury. Again, the Warriors have a deep team, but you did not think 40-13. Come on, we did not think that.
And to your point, G Money, they were, even before Clay came back, they were number one or number 2.
Which was even shocking. No one
had
thought that.
nothing to do with Clay. And we were thinking, if they're playing like this now, when Clay comes back, matter of fact, things have dropped off a little bit.
A little bit. They won A in a row, but that right now. But I get what you're saying, though.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, but as much as I want to say, we didn't see 40 wins coming, but what I can say is we should have expected it, because the last time we saw Steph Curry, even though he lost in the play-in, he was what, I believe 3rd place in the MVP voting. He was coming off of a close to MVP caliber season. So he kind of just returned right back to form in the beginning of the season, helped them, steady the ship, and now Clay is coming back. And we're seeing Steph and Clay play together right now. we haven't seen Draymond come out there and be the point
That's my
forward
point.
that he
Draymond's
is,
not
setting
even
them
been
up. And
healthy.
so, no, but
Yeah.
he was healthy earlier when Steph was,
True.
returning back to his MVP season. So
True.
I know Draymond isn't an offensive load, but when you have Steph and Draymond, like the
That
creative
didn't help
ways
them
that I've
last year,
seen.
though.
I know, but they didn't have Draymond as much last year either. Draymond
Draymond
wasn't
played
as
a lot of games last year. He was healthy last year. Draymond, here's my point. Draymond was virtually fully healthy last year. Let me bring it up. Hang on. Draymond Green last year when the Warriors missed the playoffs, he played 63 games last year. It was a 72-game season. He only missed 9 games last year. Draymond this season, I think he's missed what? Draymond Green this season has missed the 48-13. He's missed 19 games this season.
Wow.
That's a lot. Wow.
So that's
the
my
one
point.
thing. Yeah, but the one thing we didn't account for out of all of this was Jordan Poole.
Right.
I didn't expect this.
He
from
was
Poole.
he was having if I remember correctly in the beginning of the season, the reason why Steph was able to play off of the open looks that Draymond was getting him was because the teams were worried about Jordan Poole. He was in a candidacy for all-star selection this year. So if it wasn't him, I'm glad that Andrew Wiggins was able to get it. I'm glad that Andrew Wiggins was able to show everyone that he's still working and he still has he's a good NBA player and that he's dedicated to his craft. But yeah, they did have a bit of a three-headed monster in Steph, Draymond, and Jordan Poole.
But nobody expected Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
That's the
Nobody
part
thought-
of why they've been successful. I agree with that.
Funny enough, I was reading some articles, and a lot of people felt that the next most improved player coming into this year was going to be Jordan Poole. I didn't know where everyone was getting this, but they felt that Jordan Poole was going to get an MIP this year. And when he started off this year, I was like, a lot of the pundits were right. They know what they were talking about.
And he played well.
We should have
He's
traded
still
for
doing
Wiggins.
well. He tailed off a little bit, but he's still doing very well. I
Played well.
I don't know what they saw, but a lot of pundits on The Athletic and I believe ESPN felt that Jordan Poole was going to be MIP this year. So,
and speaking of MIP, Miles Bridges has had an MIP season for the Hornets, and even though Charlotte, he's had MIP season, I think Miles Bridges is my most improved player. Who's been your most improved player so far for you guys this season? To that point,
You have to think about that.
Yeah, that's going to take some thought process.
There's still a lot of basketball to be determined, though.
Yeah. And
no, I'm
that's the
saying to
thing
that
with
point. I didn't say the end of the season.
Morant too is having a rebound season as well, based
Yeah.
on at least
He's having MVP,
how he
if you
played.
ask me.
It doesn't have to be your number one. It
Last
can be
season.
anybody. It can
Mhm.
be anybody. It doesn't have to be number one. It's hard to pick and choose.
I think if you had to pin me down and force me to make a selection right now, my pick would be John.
Would be
Good
Ja.
for Ja.
Can't go
Pretty
wrong
good.
with that. You cannot
Can't.
go wrong with that.
MVP caliber season this year.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
We talking MVP or most improved, because you got to
Most
look
improved.
at Garland and
I
Well
think
for
both.
most improved.
You do.
I think
It doesn't
so.
matter. Most improved, most valuable. If you want MVP,
funny
stuff,
enough though, MIP, I might have to give that to Andrew Wiggins.
Over Garland?
over Bridges.
I'm for what he's looked like, what he's been labeled, what he's doing right now. That's a vast improvement.
True.
Because with
But if you look
with
at his
Wiggins,
stats,
like
it's not that much different though.
it's not the stats that are different.
It's also
But
the eye
remember,
test,
a lot
eye
of
test,
people felt that Andrew Wiggins, his natural talent was carrying him, and that he wasn't too focused in between the ears on the game. And
Right.
now he's contributing to winning basketball. I think that's the with regards to how Randall won it last year, it
Mhm.
wasn't just the counting stats for him. It was the way he was contributing to winning.
Right.
I
Right.
know Garland is doing the same. Garland's doing the same thing, but I think for what Andrew Wiggins was labeled beforehand to what he's
True.
doing right now, he's made such a vast improvement. I kind of like he's my number one to me, and then Garland number two.
Good point. Well, that's good picks. Well, what about you, Kev? Who's been your as of right now? It doesn't have to be number one. I'm just talking about just right now. the most improved player of the year for right now to this point.
No, you're mentioning Wiggins. I mean, remember we had an opportunity to try to trade to help Golden State, the Knicks. We proposed that, hindsight's 2020, but Wiggins is playing a phenomenal season. You like you say, you can't go Bridges in Charlotte. You can't go wrong with that either. He's having a really good season, impacting his team. He's looked like he's going to. I think he's coming for a contract extension. Coming up in the summer, so he's going to look to get a big bag. Going forward, could I see Bridges getting the same deal as Julius Randle, 117 for the 4-year deal. Around that time, we shall see there. But I think I'll go with him. I'll go with Bridges. I'm gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna go with Bridges. It's gonna be different.
Right.
Chef. Oh man, G-man. I'm only an hour away. He's gonna have a crab boil. He's having a crab boil. He rubs it in my face, and he doesn't give me an invitation. And then he started the program. BX, we need to get together, man. And he's having a crab boil, and he doesn't think about me. And I told him I got a full tank of gas, a pack of cigarettes, and I'm ready to go.
Come on, G-man. At least bring in the mashed potatoes too. Don't forget the mashed potatoes.
I'm just saying.
And the vegetables. Excuse me.
So since I've been here with you guys, I have ordered my crab boil already. So what we have is
corn, sausages, potatoes. I know what's in there. Did you flavor it lemon pepper? Yes. Did you flavor it lemon pepper?
Oh, lemon pepper. Did you ask Lou Williams?
Is it lemon pepper?
Jeff Lou Williams? Lemon pepper?
Is it lemon pepper or Old Bay? What you doing?
Old Bay. I did Old Bay.
Oh yes.
I did Old Bay with a hint of Cajun spice.
Oh man, look at that. I'm only.
So this is my crab boil, ladies and gentlemen. We have. I didn't want to do the crab legs that are going to splinter my fingers because I don't have my cracking apparatuses right. So
I do.
I didn't do. I did snow crab. This is what I did. I did snow crab.
Let me see.
I did the headless shrimp. I did the potatoes. I have the corn, and I have what did I forget? Shrimp. I said shrimp, right? Shrimp.
Yes,
sausage, crab,
potatoes, sausage is like
corn on the
Yeah.
Right.
And I got to go pick that up because it comes in.
No Uber Eats.
In the bag.
Uber Eats or try DoorDash. You ever had DoorDash before?
I have, but
nice.
But because I did DoorDash last time I ordered from this spot that I'm
right
now, right? So when I walked in there, the lady at the counter berated me up and down. She's like, "Do not do DoorDash if you come to pick up because they take a percentage off of what the store gets, right?"
That's right.
I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that. So I'm asking her. I'm like, okay, well, what kind of perks can I get if I'm coming straight to the store? What
Right
for me? And she was like, okay, well, check this out. When you come in, the next tier order, I would give that to you for the lower tier order that you pay for.
Okay.
I'm like, don't twist my arm. So this is why on Saturday, and this is what happened when your wife leaves you to your own divine in your household. When she's out of the picture, I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to get this crab boil, and I'm going to be sitting here like this. I'm waiting.
You gotta wear gloves.
Look, this is the thing, Chef. This is the
I can
thing.
see you
this
with
is
a
why I
bib.
love this place, right? So in the package that they gave me, and G-Money, I'm sorry to distract from.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's open discussion is fine. Go ahead.
This is the package they gave me, Chef. When I opened my bag up, there were the plastic gloves in the bag. Not only plastic gloves, but I had the doggone
bib.
bib. So I don't get things dirty and whatnot.
Good point.
When you peel the bag back, it's also another bag in there. You know what I'm saying? So you got double bag. So man, look, I'm looking forward to what I'm about to envision. Right, BX.
When you come to Orlando, we're going to Hot and Juicy. Go look at it. Hot and Juicy. It's a crab boil with all the stuff. It's on me. But you gotta make it happen. I said I'm ready. Whenever we don't have a Knicks game, we don't have a programming, I'm there. Lunch will be on me.
It's Hot and Juicy different than Juicy Crab?
No, it's different. It's Hot and Juicy on International Drive. Sand Lakes. Hot and Juicy Sand Lakes. Just look for that there. It's right on the I-4. I told you already. They just the phone has to ring and the time and date has to be placed, and I'm there. Lunch will be on me, man.
No doubt.
Right.
We about to get it in. So
Yep.
I hate, you know what? This is what I hate for my brethren and sisters that are not here in the Florida, on the Florida Peninsula. Because this is what we do on the day to day. We're in the winter, the dead of winter, and we talk about seafood boils right now.
Yeah, and we're in shorts. G-Man, we appreciate you, man. We
Thank you,
definitely love having you on. Always,
Hey,
man. We'll
it-
see you
it-
maybe
Always. Come
tonight.
anytime, man.
Anytime that I can come through, brother. Hey, G Bunny, first and
Thank you.
foremost, thank you for inviting me to your
You're
platform.
welcome.
I
You're welcome.
wish you the most success. I'm glad to see that
Thank
what you
you.
got going on is being successful right now. And
Thank you.
any way that I can contribute to what you got going on, just let me know, brother. And I
Right.
appreciate you having me for sure.
Right. Right. Anyone is invited. Anyone can come anytime to talk about life, sports, food, anything, movies, anything. Open discussion. Yeah, anything. You know, it's open discussion about anything in life. Thank you for coming, G-Man. Thank you, Steph. Thank you for coming in. You know, it was awesome talking hoops with all of you, talking life with you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kev. Thank you,
You're
Spree.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
Man, it's been a fun topic, fun discussion. Man, just can't wait for tonight's game. Hopefully, we come out, with more energy. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think tonight's gonna be a very, very intense game. And who knows? Don't rule this out. Could it be crazy if Russell Westbrook plays against his future team tonight?
No.
You don't.
This is my bold prediction, and I said this on the pod couple on Thursday. My bold prediction is this: tonight against the Lakers, you will get your first significant view of one Mr. Cam Reddish.
I hope man.
I'm going out on the limb with that.
I hope so, dude.
Hopefully.
I hope so, man. Salute Pudge Nice. We forgot to mention Pudge Nice in the building with the I like his Mark Berman, boo.
Hey, look, BX, what I'm gonna do tonight, I don't know what platform it's gonna be on, but I'm gonna send Chef a invite to whatever platform I'm on, and I want him to sit here and watch me eat these crab legs and the shrimp and the potatoes and the corn.
I deserve it.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. The whole time I'm sitting here watching the gameplay, and I got to watch Chef. He's devouring these nuggets and these fries, bro. I'm sitting here, my stomach touching my back. I'm like, Chef, stop, please.
If you don't mind videoing it and you send it to us, I'll play it on tonight. I'll put it like the way we had the guy shooting the basketball. I'll put it on tonight. You chomp in every time the Knicks do something positive or a 3-pointer or a 3-point play. I'll have you chomping away on some crap. You got that. You got to get it to me in time before the
and when you do something negative, just throw it on the TV. When you do something negative,
I would definitely have that. Hey,
Chef, I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby.
You got it, man.
I deserve that. I was eating them chicken nuggets and you asked for some and I didn't share. You're right.
Wow, that was rough, man.
This is the thing.
Not even one Denver McNugget. Not even one Denver McNugget.
G Money, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I can understand you because I have a daughter, and when she goes to get those nuggets, I know I can't get none of them. Period. Right?
Wow.
This is not the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Chef not only had nuggets, but he had McDonald's fries, right?
Huh?
Hold on, G
I'm listening. I'm listening.
He was sipping on. I don't know if it was a Sprite. It looked clear. I'm gonna call
it a Sprite. It was a Sprite.
But G Money. Here's the kicker. This brother legit sat here on the panel and ate an apple pie in my face. In my face. I'm like, really?
Wow,
I better than that. And he called it that. Before he took a bite, he was like, hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, guess what's about to happen right now? I'm about to get me a little a TT bit of this apple pie guy going on right now. Really? Chef? Really? This is what we're doing? You're not sharing. Number one, you're not sharing. And then you're just going to eat an apple pie from a nice, warm, hot, Yeah, I know how to
Succulent pie.
Yeah, a succulent pie. I'm like, okay.
Steam was coming out of it. Okay.
I got you, Chuck. Look, I'm about to go get my boy right now, and I'm about to make me some videos, and I'm gonna share. Sharing is
Yeah, no,
caring.
seriously, you get it to me.
Tell
You
tell
have my
man was quickly
information.
to share and
Send it
first
to
to
me our
share tonight.
information immediately, and that will be on tonight. Every time the Knicks do a positive video, I will put that you just chomping away. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby.
You know that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow on Sippy Cup Sunday. I'll see you.
Go down. You know how we do. You know how
Oh,
we
Steph
do.
left. I was gonna talk to Steph. I had a question for Steph. Steph, if you could hear us, come back on. I just had something wanted to touch base with you in a moment there, but hopefully she'll be on in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Hey, brothers, again, thanks for having me. I got to go
You're
get
welcome,
some
Jim.
oil because I don't want the oil to be spoiled.
Yes, no, go get that bad boy. Go get that bad boy. Get the video.
Secure that
Get all the
bag.
video situation. Indeed.
No doubt. G-Bunny,
What's
again,
up, boy?
brother, thanks for reaching out.
You're welcome,
I
man.
would never have known to come through if you hadn't reached out to me for so definitely thank you for reaching out.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. You know your sports. You're a great guy. You guys are like You guys are like friends to me, family to me.
Yeah.
All of you guys are like friends to me. Thank you guys for coming, talking about life, sports, anything. You guys should, like I said, we can always have open discussions about anything. And thank you, G-Man, for coming, supporting everyone. Yep.
No doubt.
Absolutely. But
Peace,
we'll
brother.
see Steph. No
Chef,
problem.
I'll see you later on, brother.
Yeah, you will. You will.
I wanted to take a quick second though. Stephanie just happened to step off for a minute, just to let you know that Pass the Ball will be coming with BX Chris and Stephanie. They were doing a program. We were going to try
nice.
to ask her about it. You know, as she mentioned out, reached out on Twitter. We wanted to promote it, and Stephanie stepped off for a moment, and we'll see if she comes back on. But just to let her know, we full support. The Jedi Network has full support on you, BX Chris, as well as Stephanie, especially Queen Court as well. So definitely Pass the Ball. We can't wait for that to pop off and get ready to go. We pledge our full support to help Pass the Ball, BX Chris and all that. And so we wanted to let her know that as well on air as well. So I know she's gonna listen. She's listening. She just probably had to step off before we get out of here because we got game time. We want to have dinner, lunch, or for those having lunch, dinner, and quick errands because we will be back on the air at 8:35. So 8:25, excuse me. So we want to make sure that we don't be too much on. You don't want to water down the drink with too much ice. But for me, I'm going to say my front thoughts and you guys could close it out. Pudge and Ice, man, we appreciate you again. Hopefully see you tonight in the watch along. Come by the watch along, you know, just to chat. If you see something in the Knicks that, you know, good, bad, or indifference, hey, join the participate with us in the chat. You know, and it doesn't take you away from anybody else's content creators as well. Just, you know, no one usually does hardly play-by-play one when we're on at the same time. So come on in. Even if you go, just say hello, participate in the chat. We appreciate it. We love to see you. For me, I want to thank G-Money. Do close it out, do your thing. I know I'm gonna say goodbye here. Thanks for having me on here. Thank you for allowing me to produce it, and I appreciate with that. And of course, may the Knicks be with you, may the sports be with you, may the fights be with you. So
Thank you.
BX Jedi saying I'll talk to you guys a little later. I'll see you later tonight.
Thank you.
Last final words for me. G Money, thank you once again for allowing me to be on your program, allowing me to share this platform with you. We're just talking not just Knicks, but just NBA in general, because the Knicks are part of the NBA. And whether we like it or not, you know, whether you like it or not, if you're a fan of just your team, you know, other teams affect your team. And not only that, it's nice to, you know, build rivalries and have that competition amongst other teams. So it's nice at least keeping an eye on the enemies, knowing what's going on and things of that nature. It was nice talking just plain old, you know, whether it wasn't sports, it was just plain old food, life, things of that nature. It was awesome chopping it up with you. I'm looking forward to doing it again. And, you know, catch us later on, breaking down the Knicks game. We're going to do the play-by-play. I'll probably be doing triple duty, having to watch that, UFC and boxing. So, you know, my attention will be split, but at the same time, I'll be super focused. So thank you guys so much. Have a good day.
You too, man. Stay safe. And before I close on stream, thank you for everyone for the 3,000 subscribers for the Jedi Network. Thank you for supporting me, supporting Chef Dan, Austin. Please subscribe to Queen's Court. Subscribe to her channel. Subscribe to other sports platforms out there like Telema Alejandro. Subscribe to, Real Talk Knicks. Subscribe to Still Talk Knicks fans, etc. Subscribe to Knicks Fans TV. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Thank you for everything. And hopefully tonight we get a good win. And enjoy your weekend. Deuces.